Hello, everybody, and I am back here in the fandom zone. It is the most earth-breaking, ground-shaking, but never media show money taking. The man, the myth, the legend, the most electrifying villain on YouTube Entertainment. With my co-host, Mr. Pop Culture PB. Welcome.
What's up, man?
Nothing much. Nothing
You
much.
said that I had to be on time, so I was a solid 7 seconds late.
That's okay. I was a solid 10 seconds late, so it is what it
Usually,
is.
when I get that solo message from you that's not in the group that says jump in, I go, oh shit, he must be all alone.
Yeah, yeah. I didn't want to do this segment alone because we're talking about some touchy subjects. Welcome, Jamie Vick. Welcome, Timon. Don't worry, we got
What's
some more
up?
people. And
I gotta
Bear
refresh
Bear.
my chat. I can't see shit, apparently.
Yeah,
There
we
we
got
go.
Bear Nerd Fun. He came in at 11:33. Don't know if he is here or he's just waiting for me to go live, but shout out to you. He finally came out of the woods and started
It was a
visiting
late
again.
hibernation season, maybe. I don't know.
I don't
I haven't
know, but
talked to him in a while.
yeah, shout out to him. So we're back. Um, we'll probably get more people as we go along because my streams have been all over the place, but I'm finally done with weekends, at least for now. So if you guys don't know, I work in a factory because, Corona. I lost my other two jobs, so I've been doing factory work, and 4 a.m. is the norm. And a villain does not like to wake up at 4, and I am more villainous in the morning. I tell my coworkers, I go, don't even fucking talk to me till about 7.
That's for sure.
you know, it's just like I don't want to talk to anyone. I don't want to, I want nothing to do with humanity at that time. And speaking of
I've seen you
humanity,
walking around like a zombie in the morning.
oh yeah, you've seen what I'm like, man. In the morning times are terrible for me. It's just a god awful experience. A villain does not like to wake up in the morning. But today's debate, I'm looking forward, and chat, 5 people out there watching, I am looking forward to really talking about this and getting everyone's opinion. I haven't had a chance to jump on this bandwagon, but I'm sure if you've been perusing the
There's
YouTube
a
scene,
wagon?
oh yeah, there's a huge wagon, and the wagon is filled with angry people because we've had another police incident and it's been blowing up the whole entire internet. And I wanted to talk to people and get their opinions on these protests that have been going on for Floyd uh, getting murdered by police officers. We're going to talk about of course, the Black Rights Movement came out as they do, but more importantly, we're going to
Did you
talk
send
about
this link to my cousin?
yes, I did.
Okay.
So I mean, shoot him a quick message. I haven't been able to get a hold of him. I know he's been busy, very busy. And shout out to
Yep.
LB. He's been doing some great things. So if you guys haven't checked out the Lonely Banters channel and you happen to come across my stream, definitely check him out. He's been doing some great coverage. I've been watching some of his videos. Um, but tonight we are going to talk about that. We're going to dive deep. I got like 3 articles on this, and also I've got a link to the protest and the coronavirus. So we're going to hit some 2 big ones there, and how these protests have spiked the numbers in the coronavirus, which is to be expected because people are fucking idiots. And also, I mean, you know how that goes. They're like, oh, the cases went up. And I got a great article. I got one that says this is, in fact, the cause. And then I've got a counter argument that says, oh, the coronavirus is not being spiked because of the mass gatherings and looting and shit like that. That has nothing to do with the cases of all the people gathered together in one spot. Definitely not 6 feet apart. But
Oh yeah, sure. I'm sure there's zero correlation.
no,
Zero.
well, we're not logical thinkers, PB. So no, the media knows it. The paid media, they know it all. They've got the check mark. We don't have a check
No,
mark.
we don't
So
think logically. We're just rage machines that bitch about SJWs and identity politics. Ruh.
fights the zombies, good to have you. And yes, I 100%. Let's bring that statement up. You want to read that, PB,
You
because you got
you
more
skipped
inflection.
over two people, Thomas
Oh yes.
Connolly and Generation Productions.
Welcome, guys. Sorry about that. I just saw this and I just loved the way he put that. So
That's
yeah,
funny.
yeah, you
That
see
is funny.
that? You want to read that out loud?
The Wu flu was just a lie by the alt left media to hurt Trump. I mean,
Look,
they do a lot of things to try and hurt Trump. I mean, that they need to use all the bag of tricks. That's all they
yeah,
got is their bag of tricks.
yeah, and we're gonna get into that too. We're gonna get into the response.
Unfortunately, tricks are for kids, and kids aren't of voting age, which is why they were trying to lower the voting age to 16. Think about it. Think about it.
Uh, yeah, we're gonna talk about all of that. So, guys, we got a great show. Shout out to the 8 people watching. We'll probably get more. This is definitely an explosive topic I got tonight. God, hopefully there aren't any explosives in these things, but we're gonna cover the Floyd
You're
situation,
in
the
Milwaukee,
protests.
man. Something could explode at any moment.
Oh yeah, and I'll tell you guys about how
Or Milwaukee
General Zod
adjacent.
General Zod, a villain, got accosted by a protester. And I was trying to say, look, I'm a dictator. If you guys are rioting, I encourage this. This is a distraction for me to overthrow your government. But no, no, I got to see what it was like and a lot of idiocy going on. Also, we have a great story which Perp needs to get in here because he would love this one and you'll love this, PB. Patty Jenkins. Patty Jenkins, the creator of Wonder Woman, a person I'd like to think
That's his
has
favorite
been.
lady.
Oh yeah, yeah, and she's been very fair in her portrayal of this character, not playing the politics. Well, the media, and more specifically, a riveting article by comicbook.com, we know how accurate they are, talks about how Patty Jenkins, yeah, oh yeah, yeah, these fucking clowns. They talk about how Patty Jenkins has missed out on a huge opportunity because she doesn't want to bring Wonder Woman's bisexual roots into the movies. So that will be a
Wonder
fun
Woman's
article.
bisexual?
Oh yeah, in the comics she's dabbled. She's God. She's been around for years. She likes different flavors from century to century or however many years it is in comic timeline. But yeah, there's
She
there,
doesn't want to put this in the movie?
no, she doesn't want that to be the focus of her movie, and I'm gonna read it because she has a
Whoa,
quote
whoa, whoa,
where
whoa,
she
whoa.
said,
I didn't, no, no, I didn't say the focus. I just said she doesn't want it in the movie.
no, because she feels like with the way the media is right now, that they're going to focus on that part of the movie as they do, and she doesn't want them to just be focusing on that. She wants them to, focus on the quality of the movie. Isn't that crazy? A director wants people
Oh,
to
no.
actually, yeah, she wants them to like the movie for the movie. Isn't that a crazy idea? Isn't that just wacky in 2020? We have a director that cares about their movie rather than the politics in the movie. Holy shit, this may start a trend. So we got
God, I hope so. That'd be nice. But it's highly unlikely.
and we also got some stuff on the new James Bond film. uh I got article about how they're talking about finally the release date is coming back. They're scaling it and bringing it forward. And I want to talk a little bit about the hatred roaming around. the prejudging the movie. Look, I saw the trailers like everyone else, but I'm gonna wait and see what's going to go on because there's been a lot of rumors and things like that. Of course, actors talking ridiculous. We,
Rumors.
yeah, and you know how YouTubers are with rumors. They like to jump on that bandwagon. And then I am going to talk about the new Xbox X Series Cyberpunk unit that's coming out. PB, I got the pics in there. I wish I could screen share them. I might put the links in the description for you guys to look at it, but this system looks fucking awesome. It looks
Like,
it
don't
lives.
lie to the people. You say you might put the links into the description. You're never going to do that. It's a lie, everybody. He's lying to you. He's never going to add any links to the description. He's put everything that's in the description already. It's finished.
You never know. A villain could change. So, anyways, I'm going to
Sure.
quick go over to my article. And the first thing I want to talk about,
Okay. Working on
bef-
sending all this tweet. You got a billion hashtags. I love it.
yes, I hashtagged everyone, protesters, Black Lives
No, I'm
Matters.
talking about the hashtags that you used in your description. I'm trying to copy most of them over in the tweet that I'm sending out.
Oh yeah, there's a lot of hashtags in my description. But
I'm gonna run out of
I,
fucking characters.
so I want to talk about something with you guys. I want to give you guys context about what exactly this whole thing is about, which if you've been watching the news, you probably got the half-ass story. And between all the half-ass stories, you got the real story. And before we get started, so the protest is that they are the Black Lives Matters came out. They want to protest about uh no, Xbox One. Yes, I know that that's not the Xbox X series. I want to show the Xbox X one that they just released a photo for.
The Xbox One X Cyberpunk 2077 edition.
Yeah, because apparently that design is going to be different than the Xbox Ones. So, and it looks pretty
Aha.
cool. It doesn't glow though, so we'll have to see. And Perp, you
And
can't
there's a
make comments.
sweepstakes?
Yeah, yeah. Perp, you can't make comments. If you want to rebuttal me, you got to be in here to do the rebuttal live.
Oh, he's doing that shit now? Oh, I see how it is.
Yeah, he's taking your shtick.
I mean, at least he's being a good mod. He's being a good mod. He's got the link in there. I like
Yes,
that.
Perp is an excellent mod. And by the way, everybody, make sure you're checking out Perp's channel. I'm calling him Mr. 1K. He's probably a little bit past that, but congrats. He's been really grinding for you. He puts out like 18 videos a week or maybe a day at this point. I don't know. He's always dropping something. So go check out Perp. Uh, he's doing some great stuff. He had a great video about the riots. I believe it was called "A World in Ashes" or something. I like the title. It was very good and good stuff, Perp. So hopefully you'll be in to talk about how you feel. But let's just talk about the context. So as
He
per
sent a
usual,
face. Sent a fucking face.
as per usual, the media wants to turn this into a white and black issue, right? But everybody take a look at the photos. There were four officers involved. This was a multicultural ass whooping. That's the first thing, okay? We had an Asian in there, we had a black person, we had a white person, okay? So
Fuck.
it was a I don't consider this a race thing as much as a cop versus a defendant
No,
thing.
as
And I
much
want to
as
get
a fucking shit cop fucking situation. Like all
exactly.
of them associated with this situation. I said to my wife when I heard all this shit go down, I was like, all of these people associated with it at one level or another, they need their lives destroyed. I don't care how, like, I don't care if it's like, if it comes down to the court of public opinion because the prosecutor fucked something up and you can't fricking prosecute somebody on double jeopardy, right? So there's, glitches in the system all the time. But their life needs to be fricking ruined. Like they can't be living a normal life for the rest of their life. And now the
No,
fact that they have been brought up on multiple murder charges, accessories to murder, I don't know what the hell we're protesting about.
yeah, and here's the thing. I agree with the fact that these are the kind of cops. These are the kind of cops right here that give the rest of the force a bad name, and they need the swift action because they need to show that the police department, with situations like this does arise, they are willing to prosecute to the fullest extent. Not this protection bullshit. And let's be real, okay? I'm from the military. You guys have heard me say this on the channel. I support I support the fire department, the paramedics, and the police. They're the civilian backbone. They make the country run. But what I cannot support is corruption in any of those fields, because when you corrupt with one bad egg, you corrupt the whole dozen, okay? And then you create these narratives
No, it's
that the
when you
media
have
can
one
latch
bad
onto.
egg, you make a shit omelet.
Oh yeah, it's done. It's done. What up, Stone Cold Jeremy? It's done. This is the type of shit that I'm glad that these charges were brought up, because people need to see that it's not always got to be a situation. The law can actually go after these people that many people feel are untouchable. And the
Right.
other thing that pisses me off is, look, I understand the cop code. It's cool to be there for your buddy. It's expected. It's like in the service. If you have a person who is in your unit and they get into shit, you know, depending on what it is, you got to be there for your buddy because you're a team. But there comes a point where you can't justify
No,
the kind of
yeah.
treatment. You can't justify someone putting their fucking
There's a difference
boot into
between
someone's throat. You
having
can't do that.
somebody's back because you're going into a dangerous situation and standing over somebody helpless, screaming for their life because they can't breathe, and you literally see the life leave their body, and yet you still allow this man to keep his leg pressed on his neck. Like he's got his leg on a corpse, essentially. Like he's everybody, millions of people seen the video. I've seen the video. Like I didn't watch it straight through. The one that I saw was about 10 minutes long, and I was skimming through it because I didn't want to watch 10 minutes of it because I heard that it was bad. I was like, what's all this hoopla about? They're like, oh, it's bad. I was like, oh well, I've heard other stories like the whole Freddie Gray situation, like that was bad too. Like that you're gonna choke a guy out over selling cigarettes on the street, and now he's dead. Are you kidding me? So I turn this thing on and I'm skimming through, and I get to one point, and I was like, oh, you see the guy like moving around just a little bit on the ground, and then he just stops moving. And I was just sat there, and I set the phone down. I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. And then
And I
the other fucking police officer standing there and is like, you people need to back the fuck up. I was like, how about you back him the fuck up? The guy who literally just murdered someone in front of you. How about you do
yeah,
something there, guy? You're trying to back
yeah,
people up with a fucking camera when you should be taking care of the situation where somebody was begging for their fucking life. But you didn't care about that because you had to be overly concerned about backing up your buddy. You've got to be fucking kidding me.
and here's the thing about the whole situation too. Before I go into my thoughts, Jamie Vick brings up a good point. She says they need to make sure they don't overcharge them, because if they do, the officers could be let off. Yeah, they could wind up
Right.
uh, over prosecuting and then having most of that shit thrown out, and it goes to a low ball kind of a sentence. We don't want that. But here's the thing that's disgusting about this whole thing is that we had shit storms with these body cams and shit like that. And here's the thing. We've had certain situations, and I've covered it on the channel, and we've seen clips and stuff where things were overhyped, right? Where the civilian, I feel, was in the wrong. They were talking shit. They were making threatening motions, whatever you want to say. In my mind, the cop was justified in taking the action they took because these days you never know. This situation, this guy virtually did nothing. Nothing. There
No,
was
like
not a reason for them
obviously, whatever he
to come
did,
at him.
he was supposed to be arrested. Okay, you have him in handcuffs.
Yeah,
Why the fuck is your knee in his neck? You have him in handcuffs with backup standing there, which means that you've already disarmed him. You have him pinned to the ground. Like, okay, just let him sit up and sit there. Like, what's he gonna do? Like, I don't even care. He could have been strung out on freaking drugs. I don't give a shit. There's no reason why he shouldn't be alive right now, period.
so here, I'm going to read some of this article here. This dives into the cops and the charges. They're bringing charges against all four officers. And so I'm going to get into this portion to give you guys context. And then we're going to go on the protest side. And that's where it gets murky because a lot of this shit is stupid. I'll tell you my personal experience. But let's get into this and we'll see what got this ball rolling, so to speak. It's this comes to us unfortunately from CNN, but they do some decent coverage on this. We'll throw them a bone for this one. Now that the prosecutors have charged all four officers involved in the arrest that ended in George Floyd's death, their real work begins proving them. The charges against Derek Chauvin, the former
Derek
officer,
Fuckhead. His name is Derek Fuckhead.
Derek Fuckhead, yeah, we'll say Derek F, the former officer who kept his knee on Floyd's neck for almost nine minutes. God
Yeah.
damn. 9 minutes, Jesus Christ, were expanded this week to include more serious one of second-degree murder. This was added to the charge of third-degree murder, which is why I don't know why they went third. They should have just jumped to second. I hate the multiple charges because when you give them options, they try to go for the lowest one, but we'll continue. And second-degree manslaughter. The other three officers, Thomas Lane and J. Alexander Kung. Okay, I just want to point that out. Kung. Okay, we have an Asian, we have a Hispanic, we have a white guy, and we have a black guy in this lineup. This was a multicultural thing. Black Lives Matter. So stop singling out the white folk who helped restrain Floyd, and Tao To, who stood nearby. Yeah, Tao. You can guess what he is, are charged with aiding and abetting second-degree murder, good, and aiding and abetting second-degree manslaughter. So they're not even doing assault, which is good. I don't want none of them little bullshit sentences in there. They're going for
Yeah,
manslaughter
no
and murder.
misdemeanors. Just stick with the felonies.
Yep, get them on something. Second-degree murder and aiding and abetting that crime carrying a maximum penalty of 40 years, while the maximum 25 years for third-degree murder conviction. So what they'll do is if they charge them with both, they'd be looking at 65 years.
Depends on how they allow them to serve the sentence, if they let them do it concurrently or if they make them do it consecutively. That's at the judge's discretion as well.
Well, hopefully we get a hard-nosed judge, but a manslaughter conviction carries a maximum sentence of 10 years in prison, as does aiding and abetting manslaughter. To prove third-degree murder, prosecutors will have to show that Fuckhead carried out I'm sorry, Derek, an act eminently dangerous to others and ev evincing and deprived in mind. Okay, without intent to kill, but without intent regarding life. With second degree murder charges, prosecutors would have to prove the intention to kill or that the person caused death while committing another felony. CNN legal analyst Ellie points out that the Minnesota Attorney General Keith Elson was smart, adding that the intent to prove what is known as a felony murder. This means the defendant intentionally committed some felony here, assault, and the death was a result of. Hung wrote in
Aha.
a
Okay.
yeah. So that's actually a smart play because he
No,
can
that's how you can get the second degree murder charge and have it stick.
yeah, instead of just bringing the charge and then having to prove that, they only have to prove one of the two. In a video, Derek kept his knee on Floyd's throat for 2 minutes and 53 seconds after Floyd became
Oh, I
unresponsive.
thought you were going to say too goddamn long.
Yeah, that was too goddamn long. I seen that video. It's like there was a point where you got him
Give 10
struggling,
seconds, man. Like, if the
like
professionals in the UFC can do it in 10 seconds, like, you're you're handling some random dude on the street. You can't subdue him in 10 seconds. You got three other people helping you. Come on.
leaving the third degree murder charge against Derek is a fallback. If Derek isn't convicted of the second degree charge, he can still be convicted of the lesser one. Prosecutors will have to prove something called deprived indifference for Derek to be able to convict him of the third degree murder charge. That means you disregard and risk and did something that was so dangerous that you knew death could potentially occur. I'd fucking say, yeah, you put your fucking leg on someone's throat. I mean, yeah, death could definitely occur from that. I mean, it's like it's
Like,
a
death can
joke.
occur in more than one way. Death can occur from lack of blood, lack of air, breaking of the neck. Like, you
Yeah,
got multiple ways that you can kill a guy because he was coming at him from the rear. Like, there's no good way of saying that. It wasn't going to sound gay either way.
the charges of aiding and abetting against the other three officers are just as serious in Minnesota as committing the crime. Um, but it may be harder for the prosecutor to convict them because what Derek conducted is more direct and will be more palpable to the jury. Prosecutors need to prove that they knowingly assisted Derek, even in some small way. Uh, the video was posted on social media, and it appears the three
Oh, I know that
officers.
short Asian assisted him in some small way by holding the crowd back from saving a man.
Yeah, they said that it appears that the video appears to show the three officers kneeling on Floyd at some point. All
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, all four former officers are being held at a $1 million bail apiece. So, yeah, hey,
They should
what's up,
probably
Shadow
crank
Man?
that up a little bit, but it's okay.
Shadow Man said it was upgraded to second degree murder. Yeah, we were just talking about that. Um, th
We're on the same page.
this is ridiculous to me. Like, okay, the situation in general, but before we get into the protesting aspect, the situation in general is ridiculous. And I can understand that the anger behind it, especially, and the people that I give a pass for this, especially, is the family. And why I feel so bad for the family is because this is a true blue situation where the person who was being accosted, they had no right, okay?
Dude, that's a
They had,
terrible pun. You can't say that. You can't say that. You can't say this is a true blue situation. He
oh,
choked him
yeah,
out.
yeah. My bad, poor choice of words, people. This is a real situation where the family here is a victim of this police brutality too, because this guy's whole arrest was handled poorly. And look, I don't know exactly what they were arresting him for, but from what I seen, and I don't know, you watched this too. I don't know if you could, say yay or nay, but I didn't see him do anything that would directly cause this kind of force to be used. I didn't see him
No,
come at
none
an
of the video
officer.
that I've seen starts early enough before he's even on the ground. So there's there's no way to know from the video, at least from third parties, like if they ever have any body cam footage that they're going to release or use that we
Oh,
can
fuck,
see
you're asking
so
for a
that we
miracle to
can
see that shit.
actually know what fucking happened. Like, that would be nice to know. Let me see what happened on the body cam, motherfucker. Like, why exactly did you stop this guy? Where did you stop this guy? How did you stop this guy? Why did you
Mm-hmm.
feel you needed to do this? Because
Exactly.
you fucking murdered a man, and it seemed like severe excessive force. Like, really? I can understand, like, if you're a smaller guy and he's a bigger guy, so you gotta be like over the top of him and holding him down or whatever. There's four officers there and he's one man. We're not talking about the Incredible Hulk. We're talking about one man. We're not even talking about like Shaq. This was a normal sized guy from what I could tell. He didn't look like he was like massive or like a bodybuilder or anything. He looked like a normal sized guy to me. And then
Uh, Shadow
they
Man
fucking killed him. I was like, you gotta be fucking kidding me.
they Shadow Man brought up a good point. He said that Derek and Floyd knew each other. I tried to post the link, but it wouldn't let me. That's okay. I know they won't let you throw stuff in it. I hate this new system, but yeah, I heard that too. So there might be a personal element to the. It could have been a bullshit warrant that they were serving, pulling him over for something. Maybe he was speeding. We don't know the specifics there, and there could be. I would, with the way this was handled, Shadow Man, I would not doubt 100% if there was some kind of personal thing, because this felt very personal. Now that you bring that up and we're making that connection, this isn't just like you get slammed down like that because the cop loves you. I mean, and with the shit that's
Ah!
been going on with police, th- this was definitely, that cop was pissed about something. I'd be interested into diving in if there was some kind of beef between the arresting officer and this guy, because this was very personal. Like, you don't kill somebody, or let's just say he didn't mean to kill him, okay? Which is total bullshit. But let's just say he didn't mean to
So
kill
he
him.
had some of the Weinstein tapes.
Yeah, yeah, let's just say, he's like, just trying to stop him and something made him salty, okay? It's one of those deals. But no
He
one,
was about to go Takashi 6ix9ine on everybody, and they had to silence him.
like, you know, this, this is, this is something
I don't
deeply
fucking know if they
personal.
fucking knew each other. Like, that's twisted.
Oh yeah, yeah, Shadow Man. I'm just gonna get to Floyd's porn tape because this is gonna link to
Ah!
my protesters. Yeah, you guys can make
Of
that
course, you
connection
would link
before.
porn to protesters.
Hey, porn can be linked to everything. But yeah, Yeah, geekicidal. I know we're talking about a heavy subject, but I had to discuss it because I actually ran into a group of protesters. I live in the Milwaukee slash Madison area, so
Wait,
I got to
why
see.
were you running? Why weren't you flying?
I like to get a good cardio. A villain could still get fat.
You
I
don't
got to
get
keep the.
cardio from flying?
No, no, not as much as you would think. No,
Huh,
because it's not. You're using the shoulder muscles. Sometimes when you do the sonic boom, you use the calves, but you know,
interesting.
yeah, yeah, it's on the Superman workout. But
Who knew?
anyways, um, I want to get to the protesters and my feelings on them, but on this end, I want to say before we dive into the protesters, because I'm going to roast the shit out of them, and not all of them, but a few of them. But just to let you know, if you're in that group, I apologize ahead of time, but no, I don't, because I ran into some assholes. But I want to talk about Floyd for a second and this cop. I feel bad for Floyd. My condolences to that family. This is a terrible, tragic thing. The cops were 100% wrong, and I hope these motherfuckers get prosecuted to the full extent of the law. We need that justice, and we need to show people that you can bring charges against police officers and they get charged. Okay, we need to break this thing that people have that cops can skate by, especially when they're wrong. When they're right, they should be exonerated. When they're wrong, they should be prosecuted. That is the justice system. And if we can't do that, then that is a failure as as America. That's a failure because we're not holding people accountable, and we need to hold everybody accountable for their actions that they take. Because if we don't, then I mean, what kind of example are we setting when
That's
we
all we
bitch
do.
here?
That's what we do in Trump's America. We fail.
That's what I hear, anyways. But
Everybody's racist. The system is racist, which very much confused me because if the system was racist, these guys would be sitting at home with their families.
and Jamie Vick brings up a compelling rumor that Floyd isn't actually dead; that it's a false flag to start riots. So that would be interesting.
Wow,
That
that's
would
a deep
be.
conspiracy.
I mean, who knows? But if that is the case, wow, that's some shit. But with the rumors aside, we'll treat this as such. And if he isn't, then that opens up a whole another can of worms as far as the protests go. But for this portion, I want to say I 100% agree with the justice system. They need to do their thing. They need to get these guys off the street. They need to make sure that they're not even, they should not even be able to hold a fucking mop, okay, in fear of what they can do with that. They shouldn't be able to hold any position. They shouldn't be able to even be in a fucking cardboard box when they get out. These motherfuckers should be taken to the fullest of the law, and their lives should be destroyed like they tried to destroy that poor innocent victim, and his family. The shit that's going to happen, like the family, think about the family, man. Like, this is going to instill such fear, and it's sad. It really is. It's really tragic, the ripple effect. And this is going to make people more stupid. It already has. So, I mean, it's just a downward spiral. And we need to make sure we cut this off at the pass. We need to make sure that we're taking people like this off the street. So let's get to the protesters. Oh, Jesus.
Okay, my favorite people.
Oh my God. So, all right, let me get into my feelings about protesting before I get into my rant about these fucking idiots. Okay. Now, I believe that it is your constitutional right to protest, even if it's something stupid. Okay, we make fun of we've made fun of protesters before over stupid shit, right? but it's their right. If you're not hurting anyone, if you're just being annoying, it's your right to protest against something that you feel is unjust. It's in the Constitution. The country is built on that. If we don't let people protest, we might as well be a, dictatorship, which that will be what it is when I rule. But anyways, I'm sorry. I've been watching episodes of Krypton, and
I
I'm on
know.
season. Oh, I'm on season 2, and I'm like, oh,
I
imagine if
didn't
they
start
had a
season
statue
two
of.
yet.
Oh my God, they build a statue of Zod, and I just looked and I go, this is glorious.
Of course.
best best season of television ever. But no, I am not against protesting per se, because if we go down that road, then that leads to something ugly. But on the flip side of that, what I am against are people using protests to do stupid shit. And let's lay our cards on the table. These ignorant motherfuckers who are breaking into
Go
stores
fish. I don't
and,
have any eight.
and these people who are breaking into stores and who are rioting, they are not rioting and looting and breaking into stores as solidarity. They're doing it because they want free shit. That's it. Okay. I lived through the Rodney
What?
King. Oh
You think
yeah.
people are just fucking doing it so that they can get themselves a free 4K LED TV?
Yeah. I
No.
mean,
People would never be that selfish.
oh,
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I made a blanket statement. No, that's what it is. Okay. Whenever looting and rioting starts, ask the people who are rioting or looting, what do they know about George Floyd's case? And I bet you they know the bare bones. They're like, oh, a black man was assaulted by cops, so we're breaking shit. Okay. And here's the thing. First off, rioting causes nothing but more people to get injured and for my way to work to be blocked. Secondly, the idea of a protest is to have a voice and to be heard, right? You're protesting whatever. When you bring it to that level, when you bring it to where people are getting injured, no one is hearing what you're saying because you've just shut down your communications. Here in where I live in Waukesha, we needed National Guard outside of the police station because they were sitting there breaking windows. What the fuck does that accomplish? What what is it?
Those
What are
people,
you
the
going
people that were breaking windows work for the glass installers union
to do? Like,
or window installer union. They work for the Teamsters. It's always the Teamsters.
and here's the thing: when people take it to this level, when people take it to this level, and they start hurting people and you involve military force, let me tell you what the protocol, and I know a little something about this. The protocol for the military, if we get involved, if we have to back up the cops, we don't have civilian protocol, okay? We are not going to say stop, halt, cease and desist. We are going to shoot you. We might have to just wing you because we're on American soil, but you are catching a bullet. We're not doing rubber bullets. We're not doing gassing. We're not tasering. We are going to shoot you and put you down. Okay. And that is the situation that you're led in with these big cities. When you have to call in government support, that is when shit gets out of hand. And I heard King Sloan put Antifa. Yeah, don't even get me started. Those. But anyway, so here's my personal story. I was walking down the street downtown, just chilling, wanted a fucking burger. Zod was hungry. I wanted a bacon cheeseburger. That's it. I had to walk past people. I don't care. You know, and I had my cowboy hat on, my Dave Filoni cowboy hat. And I was like walking down the road. I had my shirt with the American flag, and I got stopped, and they're like, "What's wrong with you?" And I was like, nothing so far. I'm getting a bacon cheeseburger. Life is good." Uh, and they were like, well, you know what happened, blah, 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 and you're perpetuating the stereotype. And I'm like, what? So wait a second.
Stereotype.
So wait a second. You're telling me that I am perpetuating some kind of stereotype and that I'm a racist because I'm wearing an American flag shirt and I'm wearing a cowboy hat. So, and I'm white. So I must be racist. Really?
Yeah. Duh.
And like it got kind of scary because and I'm there and I'm there just chilling, and the like 3 or 4 people started coming up on me, and I said, before we start this, I'm gonna let you know I was in the service. I served my country, and I'm a first-degree black belt. Now, if you want to go down this road, we can do that. But I guarantee you, there will be another person on the news because I will beat the shit out of every single person here unless you get the fuck out of my way and let me have my bacon cheeseburger. And luckily, it didn't escalate to anything. But the fact that I was just walking down the street, I didn't say nothing to no one. I didn't give a shit what was going on. I just crossed over. I wanted to get a cheeseburger. That was it. Stupid shit like that is what causes people who protest to look like fucking idiots. When you are actively sitting there and accosting and threatening people who are just walking across the street. All right, if you want to have your sign, you want to protest, be outside somewhere, cool. That's fine. That's your business. Personally, it's too fucking hot for me to be doing that. But power to you. You make your statement. You do you. But when you are sitting there bugging people and threatening people who are just out for a walk and have nothing to do with what the fuck you're protesting about, this is where you're taking it to that ridiculous level. And you know what? I appreciate whoever hey buddy guy friend is. Yes, I guess
Got a
I'm
hell of a
racist.
mustache.
I guess I'm racist, and I'm racist because I don't have a mustache like that. I apologize.
Yeah, you keep your creeper mustache away, man. It looks terrible.
But yeah, there is a difference. Okay, let's rewind the clocks back, way back, and let's go to shit that was
Do
actually
I
pretty
have
relevant.
to? I feel like we need to look at a couple of the comments before we rewind the clock.
Okay,
Because I don't know what Timon is talking about with this whole cheesecake. I have no idea what he's talking about or what he was referencing. And that was 6 minutes ago.
yeah,
I love cheesecake. It's delicious.
yeah,
I would eat an entire cheesecake all by myself. I've done it before.
yeah. We had Stone Cold Jeremy said at Shadowman, Antifa is using the protest as a smoke screen. Their videos and articles are actually BML protesters during the Antifa members to the police being destructive. We have Timon Flip said at General Zod's fandom zone, you're racist against cows and pigs. Getting a bacon cheeseburger, you monster. Yep. Fuck them cows, man. And those pigs.
No, no,
I
no,
need
no,
me
no.
some bacon.
Slaughter them cows and pigs. I ain't be fucking cows and pigs.
Uh I knew you were gonna change that around. But anyways,
That's
yeah.
right. That's right. I will use your words against you.
So we got this we got these people acting a fool, but let's link this here. Let's talk about some things. We rewind
Wow,
the clocks
did
back.
Timon answer me about this cheesecake?
Yes, he said at Pop Culture PB when you were talking about looting TVs.
Oh, would I loot an entire cheesecake? Like, is it okay to loot a cheesecake? No, it's not okay to loot ever. Now, if somebody gives you a looted cheesecake, you got to eat that fucking thing, man. That's evidence.
Oh man. So yeah, so if we're gonna go to the protesting route, let's take it back to the civil
You were
rights
called a
movement.
fucking savage by Slaybaugh guy PDC.
So when we had the civil rights movements, okay, let's take it back. See, things like this, they were a daily occurrence for the people who lived in the civil rights movement era. And those protests, those were the way that protests were meant to be, right? They walked, they had signs, they had a little chant going, right? That was the way to get your point across. Martin Luther King leading those walks through Selma, all of
No,
that
you
stuff.
don't get any free stuff that way. What
No,
are you
no,
not
you
getting
don't.
about this?
No, see, that kind of protesting is the kind of protesting that gets change done because it's a mass group moving, all in unity, all shouting whatever they're shouting and talking about what the subject is. Now,
Oh, they're shouting.
something something happened in the 90s, okay? This shit happened in the 90s. I trace it back to this. When we had the Rodney King beatings, right? LA lost their fucking minds, okay? And parts of New York too, because I lived in New York. LA and New York, they were fucking tipping cars over. They grabbed an innocent truck driver out of a semi, beat the fuck out of him. They had other people looting who didn't even know who the fuck they were looting about. They had a man interviewing him, and they're like, "Do you know what this protest is about?" "Yeah, it's about Rodney Dangerfield." "What the fuck? What?"
Hey man, I get no respect.
He gets no respect, man. It's bullshit. And like half of these looters, if you ask them, "Hey, what is this Floyd thing about?" They can't tell you. They have no fucking clue. They don't know the man, they don't know the situation, they don't give a shit about what the family's going through. They will tell you the cliff notes, but they don't give a shit about that. They just want free shit. They want to take advantage of a bad situation. That's what it comes down to. And it's within human nature. And it's sad because it takes away from what the actual point is. And Shadow Man says at General Zod's Phantom Zone, back in those days,
Which comment? You don't even have it on the screen. Put it on the screen, guy.
I'm clicking. My phone's a little slower tonight. I
Yeah,
had to
that's
switch.
what's slow. Sure.
You know what? I'm about to
So
protest
you want
you.
me to read this comment so that
Yeah,
it can
go
be
ahead.
read properly?
Go
Back
ahead.
in those days, sometimes the protest was literally sitting on the ground and saying nothing at all.
Yeah. I mean, look at Gandhi. That motherfucker starved himself. I mean, I can't personally endorse that. I think
I
that kind of
can't
protest,
endorse that, man. I'm a
no,
big supporter of food in
like
my
no,
stomach.
no. Me and you would be in that protest for like an hour and be like, nah, man,
Be like, what's
we
this
need
protest about? He's like, we're starving ourselves. And be like, where's the door?
it. No, but yeah, you had people who would starve themselves, and the British government was like, "Oh fuck, these guys are serious, man. They ain't even eating rice bowls or nothing." Like we tried. They were they were like literally trying to give them food and water at a point. I don't even know if it was to entice them or they were legitimately fucking worried that these people were gonna start dying. And they were like, "Nah, man. We need a colony to rule over. So you guys need to fucking eat some beans and rice, some." drink some water, something. And like, no, it's it,
Like, no, we'll
now.
stay strong with our prayers.
Yep, they pray. Just sit in the corner and pray. And Timon Flip got back to you. He said, at Pop Culture PB, there is a video of looters trashing a cheesecake. Oh,
No, no, no,
trashing
no, 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 no. You got to read the whole comment properly because I read the comment. He said there's a video of looters trashing a cheesecake factory and a girl walking out with a whole cheesecake. Now,
I
that's
endorse the
somebody
second
that I would not be friends with, but I would kick her in the shin and take her cake.
Oh, we've already read that. And this one right here. When everything has died down, these fools will be busted by security videos, traffic cams with biometrics, and some electronic equipment will literally phone home. Laugh my ass off.
Oh
Yeah.
my God. Don't talk about phoning home. That fucking
Oh,
movie is
yeah.
terrifying.
But yeah, and I mean,
Can't. Nobody can screen share.
yeah, so I mean, they're not accomplishing nothing but hurting the cause by doing this. And I want to read something interesting. We have an article here that says, will the protesters, or I'm sorry, the protests will spread coronavirus. This is from the Atlantic Health magazine. The country should expect a spike in less than 2 weeks in public, says public health experts. The wave of mass protests across the United States will almost certainly set off chains of infection for novel corona. Experts say the virus seems to spread the most when people yell, such as chant a slogan, sneeze to expel pepper spray, or cough after inhaling gas. It is transmitted most efficiently in crowds and large gatherings. And research has found that just a few contagious people can affect hundreds of susceptible people around them. The virus can spread especially easily in small, cramped places such as police vans or jails. Uh, as such, for the past several days, the virus has found new environments in which to spread across the United States. At least 75 cities have seen widespread demonstrations and social unrest as Americans have gathered to protest systematic racism and the killing of George Floyd, the black man who died last week under the knee of a Minneapolis police officer. Dozens of cities imposed curfews over the weekend amid widespread looting. It has been among the most turbulent moments of societal upheaval in the United States since the assassination of Martin Luther King Jr. in 1968. The pandemic and unrest together have trapped the country in a bind. The demonstrations oppose police brutality, but peaceful masked protesters and the journalists covering them have sometimes been met with overly aggressive police responses. That's debatable. We'll get to that. I don't think there's a question of whether there will be spikes in cases in 10 to 14 days, Mark says, a public health researcher at Harvard told me. With
Harvard.
with so many protests happening, they're getting so much bigger. I don't think it's a question of if, but when and where. So here's the thing. Fun fact, we got mass gatherings. And here's the thing. This coronavirus, people, make no mistake. It is not bullshit. I had a family member who dodged a bullet. For all of you who don't know, Papa Zod is okay. Shout out to you if you're listening. I know you'll listen to the
Why does
replay.
Papa Zod have to dodge bullets? Aren't you invulnerable?
Yes, but I can't always be there. World domination.
Oh,
It's
you mean a metaphorical bullet? My mistake.
yes, yes. But at my factory, okay, at my plant alone, we had 5 cases, and this was just people coming in from Milwaukee. And we got a very stellar testing system. We do the temperature, but there's also other medical things. We have a medical person on staff, so we've avoided quite a bit of the possibility of
You have a
infection. But
medical stripper at work?
uh, Zod could only wish. No,
You
we
said
have
she was on a staff, man.
but we have someone on staff who's medically trained and all that. And we're doing the testing deal. But I mean, even with our health protocols, we had 5 cases, and 4 of them were in the factory I work at, and 2 were at the factory that's next door to us. So we've had this virus here. Thankfully, the people who caught it, most of them are recovering okay. We don't know about the third guy. Hopefully, you're all right, man. But for the most part, we've had these, so it's a thing. It's a thing. But here's the thing: people are putting themselves at risk by doing these protests, and I'm not talking about the people with the masks who are doing and I'm doing air quotes, peaceful protest. Okay. I'm talking about all of these looters and rioters and people mass gathering to start shit are creating a huge vacuum where you could potentially have a person you don't know who's infected. They could just be carrying it. And now you're spreading it to all new hosts. So, congratulations. You guys were worried about the fucking beaches. Oh my God. We've just opened up a can of worms with all these fucking idiots and their fucking stupid ass looting and they're starting shit. And so now, not only have you destroyed property, but you've destroyed my health. Thank you very much, you dick.
Sounds about right.
Shadow Man, thank you. Shadow Man shared a story. First off, before I read this out loud, I am so sorry to hear that, but he said he lost one of his closest friends to COVID in Atlanta, but he was obese, a longtime smoker, and had a heart condition. Damn, man, he had 3 of the flags. There's a couple of them they were talking about that put you at a health risk. Uh, I am as healthy as an ox. I think I already got this bug in December. So yeah, man, that's the thing too. The target for it, uh, are very specific. Will, what's up, Will? Good to
What's up,
have you
Will Gentry?
here. And Will says it's nice to see some things never change. That's right. We're always here live.
We will never change.
No, uh, the unicorn has been asking me to, and she's just accepted. That
She's
ain't
been
gonna happen.
asking you to transition, and you're like, I can't do it.
I can't do it. I will never become a hero. Um, but no, uh, you know, we, we see these guys gathering, and it's like this is a big vacuum. Like if we didn't have spikes before, thank you everybody. You've now not only destroyed shit and businesses from innocent people who had nothing to do with this fucking situation, but now you are spreading the virus. So congratulations. I hope all you fuckers catch it because you're all fucking stupid.
I mean, I'm never gonna hope that somebody catches a virus. I've said that before because I don't
I'm a
remember
villain,
what
so
story that we were talking about, but people are fucking dumb. What I don't understand is why it was not okay to protest the country being shut down, but it is okay to protest this. Like, what? Like, no, it's
Yeah,
either okay to protest, like whatever you want to protest. Like, if you're protesting the fact that they raise the price of fucking cornflakes, you go fucking protest. I don't give a
exactly.
shit.
Exactly. You
That's
do
the whole
you.
point of America. But you're going to tell me that it's not okay to protest because it doesn't fit the narrative that you would like to push. But since this one fits the narrative that you would like to push, it's a good protest and it's just fine and people can continue doing it and there are no real consequences to it. You'll be fine, everybody. Don't worry.
Yeah, and here's the thing. First, the media downplays the COVID thing, then they overplay it, and now they fucking switch their focus completely. You have not heard one thing about any new cases or anything from the news, but if you turn it on, you hear about this protest all the time and the police brutality towards the protesters and yada yada yada. And it's like, look, some of those videos, I seen those people getting salty. They were starting to take it to a physical level. That is not okay. Like, you know, that is when you are taking it to that level. It was just like the college campuses that were having those protests. Sorry, Harvard student. You are not going to get into a building past the SWAT team, and you're not going to get away with fucking throwing rocks into a college campus window. That's not okay. Okay, just like it's not okay to physically
But
come
what
at
if my rock was a brick?
brick, rock. It's not okay. The moment you pick up something to throw it at someone, you have crossed the line into just peacefully protesting to trying to assault someone. And let me see. Will's got some comments here. Uh, says, dude, we're
Put
all
it
going.
on the screen, dude.
Dude, we're all gonna get COVID at some point over the next few years. I agree with that. If we've not
If we've
had it
not
already.
had it already, it's not going anywhere. It's here to stay now.
And then follows that up with the only point of
The
social
only
distance.
point of, no, let me read this. Like, you read the articles, I'll read the comments. Is that fair?
Yeah, sounds good.
The only point of social distancing was to flatten the curve. Nothing more. You gonna throw the last
And
one up?
yep.
The only treatment we have for COVID is herd immunity, or maybe a rushed vaccine that there is no way in hell most people would take.
You know
That's
what?
true. That
And,
is
and you know what's
absolutely true.
and you know what's hilarious about that? Picture those the anti-vaxxers.
Oh man.
Oh, oh my God. They're gonna have a field day with that. Like, I ain't taking it. Fuck vaccines.
Vaccine not for me. Look at all these coronavirus spreaders. So, like, sure, yeah, I'll look at them with my
Yeah.
immunities that I built up by living a life.
And Sith Lord, what up, Sith Lord? Good to have the dark side here. Says
The
Corona.
dark
Oh,
side is strong in that one. Sith
go
Lord
ahead.
said, Corona flopped. Didn't quite go the way it shoulda. No, and then Corona, the company, lost out on millions of dollars of sales for no reason. Sad.
Real quick while we're still on Corona, I was so it's allergy season. A villain has to adjust to your sun's rotation. It gets a little bit brighter, so there's a lapse in my superpowers, and I
That
get
doesn't
your
make
Earth
sense.
allergies.
That doesn't make sense. It should be the inverse, guy. What? No, 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 no. Full stop. If there's more sun, that means more radiation, which means super laser eye beams, not lack of laser eye beams. What?
Hey, We don't question a villain's logic. Anyway.
Okay, I won't
Anyway,
question your anti-logic. That's fine.
so a villain gets allergies. So I'm sitting there in the factory. It's quite busy, right? I sneeze. Okay, there's machines running past and shit. People on
Yeah, I know. You sneezed and everybody in that fucking factory turned into a goddamn meerkat.
they stop and look. The dude rolling past, honking his horn on the machine. Don't even know how the fuck he heard me because we call him Santa Claus. He's about 100 years old and knows how everything in the factory goes. That's a story for another time. But anyways, this motherfucker honks all the way down, right? Dude stops the machine in the middle, stopped honking, and everyone just fucking looked at me, and I was like, allergies. I don't have the coronavirus. Like, wow. Like, holy shit. You ever want to see people get antsy? Just fucking sneeze in a store. Watch and look. I guarantee you, everybody will stop what they are doing just to stare at you,
Dude, I
like
love it.
staring.
Like when it was still chilly out, because, we're in Wisconsin.
Yep.
So, it was chilly like all of April, all of May. So, I mean, it just got warm in the last 2 weeks, and it's freaking June 6th. So, anytime you'd have to like go out for anything, like you got to go out and get gas, you got to go out and get freaking groceries, you got to go out and like get stuff to survive so you don't die, like, living life to at least the minimum. And then you walk in and you just, you're outside for that little bit and you get that little runny nose. You're like, okay, just don't sneeze when you go in because everyone is going to look at you like you are the devil.
So before I jump off of the protest thing and we go to something worth protesting, I want to read to you guys my local paper. This is from the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, and this kind of give you an idea of the bullshit we're dealing with over here.
Yeah,
But
Milwaukee Journal Sentinel, where the truth lives.
and dignity goes to die. The protest updates from Milwaukee, Madison, Thursday, June 4th. Journal Sentinel reporters are reporting on the events and protests in Milwaukee around Wisconsin related to the death of George Floyd and other instances of police brutality. Ooh, salty. 12 a.m. protesters move east on Center Street. A slow-moving caravan of marchers and cars continued east on West Center Street Thursday night, returning to Milwaukee. Demonstrators did not reach Mayfair Mall, which is fucking hella close, where police are waiting, turning a few blocks instead. But they drew several hundred people into the fold in their march that began on North 27th and West Center Streets at 3 p.m. and headed west through Wauwatosa. Few police were present along the route in the eighth straight day of marches led by community activists Frank Nitti and Kalel Coleman. A second group snaked through the east side of Milwaukee downtown back Thursday evening. It also drew several hundred people and a caravan of cars taking over the intersection. I remember because you couldn't fucking get anywhere that day.
Oh, you had to go
Participants.
through that intersection and you could not?
Uh, I don't even want to tell you how many times I had to reroute. Travel. Thank God I don't have to do it.
Rerouting.
Yep.
Fuck it. Just turn the GPS off. I know where I need to go. I gotta drive west.
Participants largely dispersed by 10:30 p.m. once the group returned to its starting point at Cardinal Square Park. Protesters in Wauwatosa turned back toward Milwaukee after trekking.
Wauwatosa. Like, you
Yes.
fucking live there, man.
Yeah, I try not to associate with those crazy people, though. After trekking west through Wauwatosa on West North Avenue, for hours, a group of protesters turned north into Menominee River Park and east into West Center Street and headed back to Milwaukee. They also diverted the parkway a few blocks east of Mayfair Mall. Most of the downtown marchers dispersed after returning to Cardinal Street. Shortly after 7 p.m., marchers paused on 16th Street to hear more speeches. One organizer admonished instances of reckless driving from motorists in the caravan. So you can look forward to reckless fucking drivers while they're protesting. That's great. Because that's all I need is a fucking crash into a protest. Imagine that fucking headline. Demonstrators continued west on Canal Street, and then they went north towards North 6th Street, retracing their steps earlier today. Protesters went then to the east, Wisconsin Avenue, where they encountered shows of support from Milwaukee citizens. The marchers regrouped at Central Square, where organized acknowledged the efforts of first responders, medics, caravan drivers, and teachers. Many of the demonstrators peacefully dispersed afterwards. So this leg of it was peaceful uh the peaceful part, but the part they leave out is later that night the drug dealers, the other non-peaceful members of the community came out.
Whoa. Don't put all the drug dealers together. Some of them are peaceful. Some of them are pieces of shit.
Well, they're peaceful unless you owe them money. But but uh what they don't tell you is at about 10:30, 11 o'clock, after the demonstrations had dispersed and everyone went home, the night hours, we had people coming out. They looted several stores. They broke into clothing shops. There were little like bodegas and things like that they looted and broke. Small business owners, there's tons of stories. I didn't want to bring them all up because it would take forever, but there was tons of little stories about small business owners complaining because they went to work the next morning. Their fucking shops were broken into, windows were broken. There was hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of damage. People vandalized cars. I don't know what the fuck my car did to you. That's fucked up. But I mean, that part of it, why? Why do we need the after party here? Like, okay, you had your demonstration. Now what? We're going to start flipping fucking cars and burning shit down. I mean, why?
No.
What? Why?
Stealing flat screens.
flat screens and cheesecake. You're showing the man there.
Cheesecake.
I mean, Will Gentry said, hey, now, don't go bad-mouthing the dealers. They provide a vital public service.
See, he gets it. He's a man of the people.
Oh, Sith Lord. Let's bring it. You want to read that comment?
Hold on a second here. I gotta enlarge my screen because I can't tell which one you have on the screen. So where's the justice for Dorn and the others murdered by protesters and business lost? What?
Yeah. That was another thing. Thank you, Sif, for bringing that up. Yeah, there were some people murdered by the protesters or beaten up.
Who is Dorn?
I can't bring up anything because I can't use the internet while I'm in StreamYards. But
yeah, I only know one Dorn, and it's not spelt that way, and it's fictional.
Yeah, the protesters had I don't even call them the protesters. They were the looters. It was, thank you, Will Gentry. That's the name I was blanking on. David Dorn. Yeah, they had been beating up people and uh, and injuring people. Yeah, and also causing hundreds and thousands of dollars worth of damages to privately owned and you know regular businesses, but also privately owned businesses as well. Yeah, and we don't get a protest for that. Thank you, Will. Got shot in the head. Um, so yeah, we got people doing that bullshit, and it's like, where's the so here's the philosophy. You are mad. You are upset because the police officers, they killed someone during an arrest, which was a terrible thing, and we are prosecuting them for that. So in response, you are going to hurt and injure and destroy. You're going to destroy property and you're going to injure and murder people as a response to someone being murdered. Am I the only one who sees the flaw in this logic? Like,
Wait, there's a flaw in this logic? What
like,
flaw?
how does that make sense that your reaction to a violent, tragic situation is to create more violent and tragic situations, which creates more presence for cops and military, and then other entities have to step in, and that causes more violence. So by doing these actions, you are in turn causing an uptick in the very thing that you're trying to protest against. You're saying you want to make aware police brutality, right? You want to bring down the police presence, but yet you're going to loot and riot and fucking kill people and hurt people. What is that going to do? That's going to bring in cops. That's going to bring in federal law enforcement. That's going to bring in military enforcement. You're creating more situations to where you're going to have more people getting hurt or injured. And that's just the facts. That's why the whole thing's asinine and quite fucking stupid. It makes no sense. It's counterproductive. And this is coming from me.
Wait, it's productive at all?
I mean, it's just it boggles the mind, and that's
Because yeah,
what.
the people that were out there peaceably protesting, that would be, I guess, productive in a sense that you're getting your voice heard and you're starting the conversation, yada, yada, yada. But then that's not what it ends up being because you have everybody that comes and takes advantage of the situation. So
Exactly.
as soon as you stop people from being assholes, then I guess we can get back to, I guess, actually trying to make a change.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Look, the peaceful protests I highlighted, right, when it first started in Milwaukee during those daytime hours, they did their march through the I mean, besides the fucking reckless drivers and the closed roads, it's more of a nuisance, but there wasn't anyone injured, there wasn't anyone hurt by that. So, cool. You're showing solidarity. They didn't say nothing. It was a giant march. They had a get together. They thanked everyone. They thanked the first responder. There were medics and fire department with them. You know that's all right. You're peacefully showing your support and trying to get shit done about this tragic situation. That portion of it's okay. But then as soon as the night hit, all of the fucking crazies and everyone else came out. And then that's when you take it to that level where now we're missing the message. We're off topic. We're off track. And it ain't about getting justice for this man's murder. Now it becomes about what can I get for me? And those people ought to be fucking ashamed of themselves because you are destroying the message. You're destroying the very thing that these people who legitimately might
They don't care. They got their free cheesecake.
yeah, you are piggybacking, and PB, here's the other thing we bring up, right? We talk about this all the time with the
We
media
do?
and with these journalists. Yes, yes, we do. And the SJWs, what do they do? What has this country started devolving into? We have a good
Pussies.
logical, yeah, snowflakes, not the comic. Uh, but we have these people who have a legitimate cause, right? No matter what it might be, Me Too, equal women in Hollywood, all that bullshit, right? They might
What? No,
actually
if you're gonna
have.
say legitimate causes, you gotta say actual legitimate causes. Like the Me Too movement is not a legitimate cause. If you, as an individual, had something happen to you, then you do something about it, which is, you talk to whoever you need to talk to and go through the proper channels and have whoever brought to justice in whatever form or fashion that takes in, your part of the country.
I mean, we'll just say the ideal of it started off as a good
I
concept,
mean, I
but
suppose I can agree with that, but that's like saying socialism is a great idea because it's a great idea in theory, but it's
on
never going to
paper, yeah,
fucking work in practice.
exactly,
Yeah, the
exactly,
Me
and
Too movement's a great idea in theory, but you know what? It didn't fucking work out. As soon as somebody said, you know what? Uh, Joe Biden touched me. Wait a second. We can't just believe women. Take it back. Everybody take it back.
so I mean that
Sorry, we
aside,
got sidetracked a little.
we went off on a tangent there, but yeah. So these things they start out in theory good, but then you've got this other subsection, and we've been seeing it more and more. And it's this subsection that takes advantage of that theory, and they use it to fold it into their own bullshit, whatever they want to justify doing, right? For like and I'm just using it as an example for like Me Too, right? You have all of the crazy SJW and feminists and all of them who use it as a way to attack everything. We've seen it dozen times. We've covered it here
Oh,
on the channel.
are you parlaying this into defund the police?
Yeah. And then, yeah, you have that. That was a great setup. Thank you. And then you have them using this to parlay it into defunding law enforcement.
Like
Uh, Like, how do you make
who are the two I like I who are the two people in the article that you shared with me? What were the two
uh
names?
hold on, I gotta bring it back up. Which article was it?
Because I know I want to say it was I want to say it was Natalie Portman and Brie Larson. Is that right or is that
Yes,
wrong?
yes, it was Natalie Portman and Brie Larson. I had to
Okay,
back
so
check a
these
little
are
bit.
also two people that are like, as far as I can remember, also anti gun, like in every respect, right? So,
Mm-hmm.
okay, get rid of the police, get rid of the guns. So that means you don't have a gun. Your person protecting you doesn't have a gun. And you don't get to call the police because you fucking defunded them, you dumb fucking bitches.
And on top of that, the person who's gonna be mugging you, robbing you, stealing your shit, I guarantee you they have a gun.
He's still gonna have a gun because guess what? Criminals aren't gonna follow the law anyways. You
If
fucking morons.
by definition of criminal, if you are a criminal, you're gonna look at the defunding the police and the anti-gun law and be like, Christmas came early
You're like,
because
fuck
now
yeah, go for it. Like, I support this 100%. Defund the fuck
because
out of that. I'm buying ammo tomorrow, baby.
like it's some and this is why Hollywood needs to shut the fuck up. I was going on Twitter and someone had posted it on their feed. I forget who it was. And Seth Rogen, all right, I used to like Seth Rogen. I like Preacher. I like some of his movies. I know it's debatable, you know, with people,
Seth
he's a hit or
Rogen's
miss.
okay.
He comes out and I said, Seth, don't do it.
He's
Don't.
gay?
No, worse. I
Oh,
would
you
have been
can't say
happy
that he
with that.
comes out then. Like, you can't say that.
He tweets
Oh,
that
okay. Okay. Whew.
he and you guys can look up if you're interested, you can look up Seth Rogen's fucking Twitter. It's the first fucking tweet that'll pop up. He puts the hashtag Black Lives Matter has never been more relevant. And before you say anything,
Okay.
PB, I'm sorry. And I apologize if it sounds racist because it is going to come across extremely racist, but I'm Kryptonian, so fuck it. A white Jew just came out and said, hashtag Black Lives Matter has never been more relevant. It's like, motherfucker, do you realize what these people are protesting? They are protesting against you and police and everybody connected with that. And you're going to come out and co-sign on your Twitter where your millions of fucking followers can see hashtag Black Lives Matter is more of a relevant tag than it's ever been. Like, are you fucking,
How
what
bold of
planet are
him.
you guys living on? What? Who
Wow, way to
gives
go out
you
there on a ledge. Not a boy.
and what up,
See his
K-Log?
virtue and all
Like,
of his signal.
oh my god, like that is if we ever had a if we ever had the chance to use virtual signaling or virtue signaling, this is an epic case. This is the biggest virtue signal I've seen in a very long, like, this is virtue signaling with a capital V. Like, motherfucker, you are you are co-signing on a group who, if you went into a group of protesters, maybe not because it's Seth Rogen, but if you went into a group protest and you were not Seth Rogen and just some white Jewish guy who decided to, you think those protesters would be like, yeah, come on in, man, yeah. No, they'd look at you like, motherfucker, you're in the wrong protest. Your side of the street is that way. Like, are you kidding me, Seth? What the fuck compels you to think that A, you even have a stake in what, B, you even know what the fuck they're talking about because you're sitting there still fucking
Because he's woke.
quarantined.
He's woke.
He's so woke. And I should have known when he came out with that terrible
What's
fucking
up,
movie.
Kermit?
Oh yeah, I said what up, K-Log.
I missed that, apparently.
When 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 you have a movie come out called Long Shot, when you're endorsing being Madam Mr. President, I should have known right there he had gone to the woke side. But I like Preacher, and I wanted to give him a pass. But yo,
The
he's
hell is
full.
Preacher?
Oh, it's a great show.
Oh, it's a show. Okay.
Yeah. He did the comics justice, but I
I
mean,
never think of him doing TV shows. He's a movie
no.
star.
But yeah, so when I heard that, I'm like, he's fully awoken. He's embraced the woke. He drank his cup of coffee, and now he's ready to do his tweets. And it's like Natalie Portman, Brie Larson, Seth Rogen, shut the fuck up. Let me tell you what you guys are doing right now. You're still under quarantine, okay, because you're going to stay safe. You don't care that businesses are opening up, okay, so you're going to stay safe. So you're sitting there with your we love the world fucking videos telling me how you're in it for me,
We're in
okay?
this together.
We're all together. I might have a jacuzzi.
Still didn't get a check from any of them. I was like, didn't you get your Disney dividends? I didn't get my Disney dividends. I could take some of yours. You can handle that, can't you? Can't you
No,
breathe?
no, Will, that's a different Seth. Seth Green played Scott Evil. Seth Rogen did Sausage Party and various other movies. But it's like, you sit here, you give us this bullshit, okay? Fucking Larson gets her own fucking character in Animal Crossing. Fuck you, Brie. I hate your guts. Um, you know, and you're gonna sit here and
Play
tell me
Animal Crossing.
uh, she needs to be in fucking never mind. I'm not gonna go there. I get too sidetracked. But anyways, so, we got these motherfuckers sitting in their penthouses, in their fucking jacuzzis, sitting here championing a bunch of shit. They don't even know what the fuck's going on. They watch CNN and they go, oh, this black man's being accosted by the police. The police are wrong again. Let's talk about gun rights and Black Lives Matter. Like, how the fuck do you make
Gun
that
rights.
leap? What the fuck compelled you of all the things to tweet about that day? That was the thing that was the highlight. You're like, oh, let's see, Drake's got a new album, Nelly versus Ludacris. No, I'm gonna talk about Black Lives Matters. That's what I rolled on today. Are you fucking serious? Are you
That's
fucking kidding me?
BLM, man. You gotta get them. You gotta get them clicks.
Like, they must be as bored as we are. They must be desperate to say something. That's the only thing that makes sense to me in
Desperate
this
for
whole.
attention.
Like, they're not
They're
making
not
movies.
satisfied with half a dozen to a dozen people paying attention to them.
Apparently not. It's just like, come on,
Shout
Seth.
out to the chat.
Yes, thank you. Shout out to the chat. But yeah, and speaking of ridiculous things to protest about, let's talk about Patty Jenkins. And it was bound to happen. I was waiting
Oh
for it.
man, like you gonna talk about Patty Jenkins and we don't have the purple one here?
I know. Perp, if he joins in, then we'll swing back around. I got plenty of time. I don't gotta wake up till 4. Woot. I mean, I don't have to wake up at 4. I'm off, so
I
we're
was
all
gonna
good. But
say, I was like 4 p.m. Like that is that also true? Like if you ain't got work, you ain't gotta
I'll
wake
wake
up till
up at 4
p.m.
p.m. tomorrow. I've done 4 a.m. for like a solid week. We got a mandatory early shift because of we're the one of the few businesses still exporting. So yeah. But anyways,
The only
no,
time my early shift is when I have an overpass and I have the on ramp that is downhill. Then you can short shift.
so it was bound to happen. We thought Miss Jenkins would be safe because, black and a female, but no, the media is doing it. The media is coming after her, and it is because she is not going to make Wonder Woman inclusive. She doesn't want to focus on her being a strong, empowered bisexual superhero. And in this age, why aren't we
Hey,
bringing
you ain't got to focus
sexuality?
on it, but if you want to show me something, I'll watch it.
I mean, Cheetah looks hot, so I mean, if she wanna
That's what
go
I'm
that route,
saying. Like, I'm not
I was
opposed
I
to
was I
seeing
was
Wonder
okay with
Woman make out with Cheetah. Like, what's up? Give me some
it.
Warner Brothers.
But no, she brought up an excellent point. Before I get into the article by the most factual people in the world, comicbook.com, so this isn't going to be slanted. um, she recently had an interview and they talked about Wonder Woman's roots, and there is some roots in the comic book. She's an Amazonian. She's been around for years, so she's had multiple lovers. Some of them were female. And
Why are they called Amazonians if they're from Themyscira? Like, what?
it's comics. Don't try to figure out the logic.
Don't question it. It's in a panel.
So they were questioning her whether there'll be LGBTQXYZ representation, and she said very
If there
eloquently,
will be quilt bag representation.
and she said it very eloquently.
Fuck
Uh,
no, we won't go.
yep, she said, "I want to have my movie be watched for the
I want my movie not to suck balls and
yeah, I
focus
want
on
my
a good
movie.
story.
Yeah,
Sorry, media.
she wants the movie to be focused on the story and not on the character details, which is a fancy way of saying she wants people to pay attention to the story and not whether or not Wonder Woman's going to be going down on Cheetah. So uh
Too late.
before
I've already. As soon as you told, I didn't know that she is bisexual. What do you think I've been thinking about this entire stream? It's in the background. The wheels are turning.
so first let's get to Will Gentry that had a comment. Uh if you want to see Wonder Woman doing lesbian scenes, there's a dozen of them on Hub. Yes, I know about those.
Well, I mean, that's a parody. Everything has a parody of it. I get that.
So, digital, I'm sorry, they're quoting from comicbook.com, so you already know this is a good
Comicbook.com, your source for everything totally bullshit. Let's do it.
So this is the Digital Spy is going hard. Their headline is Wonder Woman 1984 has made a big mistake already. And this is
Don't
by
try and fucking
Gabriel.
imitate me, you son of a bitch.
I needed the inflection. So
Fair enough.
they said when the first trailer for Wonder Woman 1984 arrived online, we were treated to Diana Prince and Barbara Marina sitting opposite of
Sure.
each other.
Barbara M.
Barbara M. And for a whole 5 seconds, Barbara asks, "Have you ever been in love?" And Diana replies, "A long time ago." Though it was short, it was certainly sweet. And though the sentiment of Diana's undying love for Steve was definitely there, some were quick to jump to the idea of a potential relationship. I don't know who this some is between Barbara and Diana. After all, that's exactly the kind of awkward first date question a nervous single might ask. No, it's not! No one opens with a question about an ex. As a matter of fact, that is the opposite of what you mention on a first date. On a first date, you talk about your likes, your interests, fucking food. If you're nervous, you start quoting shit around you like, wow, these tables are great. These tables are sturdy. Loving this table. You don't go, hey, about your ex that died. Yeah. You ever been in love with anyone besides? No one says that. What? Get it together, Barbara. Get it together. Despite never explicitly saying so, there's long been precedent for the movie version of Wonder Woman to be bisexual. No, the fuck there hasn't. And in the comics, she is chronologically bi. No, she's not. Don't quote
You
comics,
told me
digital.
that she was bisexual.
She's not canonically bi, okay? She had a
What?
fling once,
That means
dry
she's
spell.
canonically bisexual. Like if she had a fling one time, that means she likes that poontang pie.
Hey, it's Cheetah. I mean, even in the comic books, I looked and I was like, she looks like a cheetah, but would I? I might. The trailer only served to heighten fans' excitement for a potential relationship between Cheetah and Wonder Woman. And I can't see the chat, but chat, feel free to comment on this. Were you excited when you seen the trailer? Was the first thing you were thinking, are they going to have a relationship between Cheetah and Wonder Woman? Was that the first thing you thought of? Because the first thing I thought of is that suit is fucking cool. Uh, her new suit was
I
bitching,
guess
but
all I
any,
thought of was, how the fuck is this guy alive?
yeah, that was my next question when we got the extended one. But this apparently won't happen. Gal Gadot herself has confirmed the character is queer, saying she's a woman who loves people for who they are. She can be bisexual. She loves people for their hearts. In the first film, Wonder Woman herself said men are essentially for procreation when it comes to pleasure, unnecessary. That was a joke. Okay. Gadot also teased SFX that sexual tension is always there between Diana and Barbara, which, though it isn't confirmation, it isn't assured either. Cheetah too had her own relationships with women in the comics, in particular, a character Ida Candy in DC Rebirth. Yet, for all the groundwork laid out, Patty Jenkins has decided that there will be no romantic feelings between Barbara and Diana, saying a relationship might have happened in a different storyline. The justification for not explicitly including a queer relationship between two women in Wonder Woman 1984 was down to storytelling. Oh my God. According to Jenkins, who said the storyline was certainly clear about Steve coming back. The whole story was about Steve. It's all a love story with Steve. A white male. Oh no, Patty, what are you doing? You're torpedoing your career. To say we were disappointed is an understatement. Of course you would be, because no one gives a fuck about Digital Spy. Is an understatement, and the reasonings behind the creative decision feels like a cop out when audiences are craving for it clearly defined representation from characters they hold dear. No, no one is craving representation. There's no one going, that Wonder Woman, that first movie was great, but you know what would have been awesome? If she was making out with a female in the middle of World War II. That would have been fucking fantastic. That would have brought that movie to the next
Right?
level.
Like if she would have
Fuck
went
Aries.
across that battlefield and right in the middle just made out with a chick, boom. That movie would have made $2 billion.
Oh, endgame numbers right there. Jenkins further clarified her decision, which she shouldn't have to. But go ahead, Patty, because clearly you're a logical thinker. There wasn't room for two for Diana. Anyone who has been in love knows that it's complicated. Oh my God, I swear, this just makes me. I will watch anything this director. Uh, let's just continue. Even people in happy long term relationships have found themselves casting a sideways glance at someone they find attractive or flirting with a stranger in the
Sideways
queue at
glance. That's a
in the
full
queue at
glance.
a
What are
car
you
stop.
talking about?
The peripherals. In the world of films, especially films like Wonder Woman, that Diana has sealed off her heart to anyone else besides Steve. It's confusing at best. Yes, it's a notebook level romance plot, but it also begs the question: what has Diana been doing for 66 years since Steve's death? Has she never had another lover or other lovers? Has she never been on another date or had fleeting thoughts about a stranger or someone she saved? No one cares about that. Look,
Nah, man, she been munching that rug.
when they set up this plot, I'm not going to go into the theater going, you know what? What did Wonder Woman do for those 66 years? Who was she dating? Did she go? Wait, Kendra wasn't around, so was she like just perusing and like, hey,
Whoever
you look
fucking wrote this article must think that this movie is supposed to be like fucking Batwoman.
They must have been watching Batwoman and thinking, I wish everything.
It's a
Oh
really
God,
great show. I
they
wish
should make
everything could
everything.
be like this.
And Jenkins, shutting down the rumor, also strings an additional slap and invokes memories of J.J. Abrams shoehorning a romance between Zori brothers. Okay, oh, my blood's boiling.
Okay.
It, first off, quoting Rise of Skywalker is the worst context for the two movies because one was a terrible fucking thrown together movie. The other one has an established first movie that was good that is laying the groundwork with a story. J.J. Abrams threw shit against the wall to see if it would stick. This is a decision because it does not make any fucking sense to the story and it would divert from what's going to be a 2-hour movie as it is. Clipping in 5 to 10 extra fucking minutes of stupid shit between Wonder Woman and Cheetah would slow the movie down. This has to do with time and has to do with telling the most efficient story. The two do not mix. They have nothing to do with each other. They were constructed differently. They will both have very different results. Oh my God, these people are fucking stupid. Before The Rise of Skywalker, romance in the contemporary trilogy, and this movie isn't a trilogy, so I don't know why they're even quoting this, but romance in the contemporary trilogy was mostly ambiguous, so the introduction of heterosexual partner for Poe effectively destroyed the ambiguous space in which the LGBTQ plus relationships could exist. It essentially said if we haven't said it's a romance, it isn't a romance. Jenkins has perhaps unknowingly done the same thing by explicitly shooting down the possibility of sexual romantic tension between Diana and Barbara. She has
Oh,
opted
what a bitch.
she has opted for a black and white world when, as we all know, it's actually gray. Sexual
That
orientation
means she's
exists.
not going to have any Asians either if it's just black and white. They're yellow.
Sexual orientation exists on a spectrum, and Wonder Woman 1984 it was poised to acknowledge the spectrum in a meaningful way. No, it wasn't. Okay. Instead of the film seems to have
Okay.
shed away from saying something, anything about non-straight romance. And why the fuck does it have to? It doesn't have to say anything like that to be a good movie. There was explicitly acknowledging queer romance without it becoming a distraction in the plot. Harley Quinn's bisexuality was confirmed in Birds of Prey, and it didn't distract from the Joker breakup. Oh, that's a great example because that movie did so great. The
I thought
LGBTQ.
that movie lost millions and millions of dollars, like
Oh,
tens of millions of dollars.
oh, it did, and the critics were quick to give it a so-so rating, but when they need to quote it, they throw that shit right back up. And really quick on that, if you want to see a good depiction of Harley Quinn being bi, watch the Harley Quinn show. A comedy parody actually does that relationship better than the fucking movie did. And you guys can check that out in my season 2 review of the Harley Quinn show. But they have the funniest story about it. And the great part about the story is neither of them are Poison Ivy and Harley. They aren't into women on the onset. They just
Until
happen.
they're into women. I get
Yeah,
ya.
yeah. It just happens to organically happen like the
They
story
just
should. And
happen to get drunk one night and, go
yeah,
on a
that's what
poison
happens.
ivy experiment.
That's what happens. That's literally what happens. They get drunk and they wind up
Of course,
sleeping
because
together.
women be crazy.
Yeah, that's I mean, it's great. If you guys haven't checked out that show, go check it out. It's fucking hilarious. But anyways, the LGBTQ plus audience often have to find representation, no, the fuck they don't, in these ambiguous areas, particularly when it comes to tentpole franchises like Star Wars, Marvel, and the worlds of DC. Now even those ambiguous spaces are being erased. Yeah, of course. Lucky for us,
Yeah,
fans
they're
will.
being so erased. I watched all of fucking Doom Patrol. You got a whole goddamn street.
In Doom Patrol, you literally have a character, and they do the story right. You have a character who was a fighter pilot back in the 50s and was gay. They didn't focus
He's a
on that
big
at
gay
first.
homo.
Yeah, they didn't focus on that at first. And PB, let me ask you, because you've watched some of it, does that
I watched
detract?
all of it.
Does that detract at any point from that story? Does that
No,
detract
not
you
really,
from?
because the story is fucking bananas.
Yeah, yeah, it's just something that just happens to be part of the character, and it actually adds to the character because he was already conflicted as a human, and when he gets powers, that just gets amped to 10 because now he's conflicted about all sorts of shit. So it didn't detract from the story, it added to it. Oh my God, this is a crazy idea. So you put in something that adds to developing your character and giving them more challenges. Oh my God, what are we doing? Writers are actually being smart about their products because they want to make money. Oh, this is this is nuts. In 2020, why are we doing this? We need
That would be
representation.
terrible.
So, what are your thoughts? I have a feeling I already know, but what are your thoughts about this bullshit and how the article is not focused on none of the. They don't focus on the fact that we're getting a cheetah, and if they want to play the diversity card and the representation card, it's right there in front of them. You're getting two strong, powerful female characters that people like in the same movie, but we're not focused on that. Well, why can't they hook up? Why can't we have them making out? What?
No,
Like,
what we're focused on is the fact that you asked me a question and then went on another rant. That was hilarious.
I'm sorry, this article pissed me off. But go ahead, Phoebe. I'm sorry.
So
What you?
no, I mean, like you're correct in what you said about me. Like my feelings were known at the beginning of the article because the article's from where?
It's from Digital Spy, but they quoted it from comicbooks.com.
Right, they quoted from comicbook.com. Your source for all things bullshit. Let's go. Exactly. And you read it and you had to stop at least half a dozen times because you were upset about the stupid fucking bullshit. And I was laughing the whole time.
So
This is
let's
so
go.
fucking ridiculous. Oh my God. Like, okay, like have some fucking I bet there is some bisexual scene in the movie. I bet there is one in the movie, but it's not focused on enough. So they're like, well, you didn't make it like a centerpiece. You didn't put it in the marketing. How were we supposed to know as the quilt bag community that it was a woke movie? It's not a fucking woke movie. It's a goddamn Wonder Woman movie, you assholes.
And yeah, Timon Flip says at General Zod's Phantom Zone is not comics. Amazonians are a part of Greek mythos. So yes, I know Greek mythology. I know they're a part of the Greek thing. They play
Ah,
off Zeus and
I don't
Ares
believe
and
you.
all of that.
You
But
know Greek mythology.
yeah,
Like you read a book like they got Greek mythology on Candor? My fucking ass.
yeah, man. We studied the Iliad and the Odyssey and Odysseus and the Argonauts and all that. Zod,
Wow. That was impressive. That was impressive. You
Zod
got me on that one. I was not expecting you to name off that many known things.
Zod studied your military tactics and history, and the Greeks had some very interesting tactics in those. Even though Greek myths are essentially myths, those myths are rooted in actual Greek wars and things like that. Whether or not the Greek gods came down and all of that is up for debate. But
I
the
thought
stuff
you
they
were just going to say, you know, Zeus and stuff.
No, I always found Greek mythology interesting, so that's why I like the Wonder Woman comic. And the fact that this is what they want to highlight, and there's so much rich story within that because they're drawing from actual Greek mythology, it just boggles my mind. But I want to get to
No
some
pun
of these
intended.
comments. I want to get to some of these other comments.
Comic
We
book,
had
you said drawing.
Shadow Man made a great comment here. He said she is not canonically bisexual. Thank you. I say the same thing. Thank
Did
you. I'm glad
Nico
someone.
just get here?
Oh, what up, Nico? Good to see you.
He's alive. It's good. What
uh,
what's this Will Gentry says? He says, "Don't lie, PB. He had to stop half a dozen times because he's a moron and his brain needed time to rest." Well, I like to give a villain the benefit of the doubt on the weekend because, he probably has alcohol in him. It affects his Kryptonian blood unusually when it's, German made.
your Germans know how to make a fine ale. Shadow Man also said SJWs act like the entire world is gay or non-binary. Ugh, the worst. Or lesbian, and nobody is straight anymore. I have a problem with them, but they seem to have a problem with straight people. Or I don't have a problem with them, but they seem to have a problem with straight people. Very true. Very, very true.
They got a
Uh,
big problem with the binaries, as they would put it.
but yeah, thank
Fucking
you, people.
weirdos.
Thank you, people in the comments. I appreciate you putting in these comments because it shows it's not just us, but people don't want to see that shit. No one is going to this movie. I can guarantee you. Maybe there is that one wacky person. Who knows? There might be one in the crowd. There always is. But a majority of the crowd is not going to this movie with the sole thought in their mind going, oh my goodness, Cheetah's gonna be in here. We have the return of Steve, that's hyped. I'm super excited. We've got Maxwell Lord. Okay, we got a good villain, but you know what'll put this movie over the top? You know what will make this the fucking epic? If we have that bisexual moment. If Wonder Woman doesn't kiss a girl, I'm out. No one's saying that. No one's saying that. Who's right?
Oh, man. I'm sorry. I mean, what you were saying was moderately funny, but you were getting some of the laughs that Will was providing with what I read of his comment when he said, can you put his most recent comment on the screen?
That one right
I'm
there.
a non-binary lesbian. Any lesbian who won't sleep with me is both homophobic and transphobic. Oh man, that's how you back these motherfuckers into a corner. It's like you just use their logic against them and then they fucking short circuit and they're like, wait. No, I'm not a bigot. I'm not a bigot. You can't be a bigot against straight people. You can't be a bigot against white people. You can only be a bigot against somebody that is a minority or is oppressed or blah, 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 blah. I need your vote in November. I'm Joe Biden.
Oh, I love how how two topics you've swung it back to Biden. Oh, where's my man Biden Touch when we have these great comments? He's probably busy
Like,
sniffing hair.
oh, I just don't understand how you can take something that has nothing to do with something else and be like, hey, uh, I can use this to push my political agenda a little further. Like, Patty Jenkins, you bitch, you ain't being black enough. You ain't being gay enough. Come on, get on the bandwagon. You're not being enough of a quilt bag.
Yeah, and
And
here's the
she's
thing.
like, you know what, people? Fuck all y'all. I'm making a Wonder Woman movie. I love you,
And
Patty.
yeah, and here's the great thing. Patty towed the line enough with the first movie and made it well enough to where now they're not going to remove her. They'd be fucking stupid. They're not going to remove. Okay, they're not going to remove her. It's not going to happen. So now she's in a position where she can come out and go, you know what? Fuck you guys. I'm going to make the movie I want to make. I made money. DC ain't getting rid of me because they know my movie was one of their top movies. Okay. And this movie is poised to make a ridiculous amount of money. So,
It's
I
gonna
mean, they're
make
not going
more
to get.
than the atrocity that came out this Christmas.
Oh, without a doubt. And it's going to be funny to see. I might do a video comparing them, but we'll see what the box office looks like. Uh, we'll see how it all shakes out. But anyways, so she's in a position now where finally she could be one of these people. And we've been talking about this. We've been waiting for directors to be able to speak their mind. And I'm so glad that I have so much respect for her because she's in a position to be able to speak on this and say, in her own elegant way, look, I'm making a movie about a story. It's about a story I started in the first movie. All this extra shit doesn't have to be and won't be in my movie. So you can kindly fuck off. That's I'm
So,
just I'm
Shadow Man has the answer to your question. He said that Biden is still trying to get home, but he forgot where he lives or what day it is. But I don't think that's entirely true because, as far as I know, he's been at home for like the entirety of the lockdown. So I think he's like stuck in the bathroom and can't find his way out.
but I mean, yeah, I'm really glad that we touched on this, and I'm glad that the comments we've gotten. It's good to see we're not the only ones here. This was just such a stupid article, and it's so funny that they literally took the time. Okay, they took the time and energy. It probably took them hours and proofreading and all of that. And this is the final product for the article we get. Just think about that, people. It went through all the editors and whoever the fuck works at Digital Spy and this collab with comicbook.com. It went through all these people and they said, you know what? That's the one, people. We got the Pulitzer right here. We're gonna talk about
Oh,
like I sit back and I wonder how the fuck does it make it through all those people? Like, who's the guy who goes, this looks good. This is a winner. This won't piss off anyone.
Will Gentry said we're not supposed to laugh about people getting stuck in the bathroom. It happened to him once. Except the difference is, Will, you were high on drugs, whereas Biden is just old.
Oh,
He's
okay.
like, okay,
And
like, I mean, he's rich, right? He's very, rich. He's not like exorbitantly rich, but he's rich. He's richer than Bernie Sanders. And Bernie Sanders is a rich socialist. So, he's got 3 houses. Anyway, that's not the point. The point is, there's got to be at least 3 doors in his bathroom, and he gets stuck between 2 of them, and neither of those doors lead out. One
All
leads
right.
into the shower, one leads into the little closet that's in the bathroom, and he's like, well, this didn't get me anywhere. Shit. Let's try that one over there. Nope, that's the shower. Let's try that one over there. Nope, that's back in the closet. Let's try that one over there. Can't find that third door, man. It's terrible. It is terrible.
But I just before I get into this next article, I have
Oh
some
my
context.
God. Now I feel like an ass.
Oh
Apparently,
yeah.
Will had an epileptic seizure. So the effect was kind of similar to drugs, but fucking A, man. That's terrible. Sorry to hear that. At least you're doing better now. Obviously, because you're here to roast Zod.
So I want to give context to why I'm bringing this article up.
Oh
And
my God, there's more to this shit.
oh yeah.
Jesus
So
Christ.
it's not about Wonder Woman. We've said our piece on that. I want to talk about No Time to Die, and I want to say before I say something about this
James
person,
Bond.
before I say something about this person, you know how the YouTube rumor mill works. So I don't want 100,000 people downvoting me, but it's got to be
We
said.
had
Okay.
2 before we started.
Yeah, that's the normal 2 who downvote me, and whoever you are, shout out to you.
Thanks for the interaction, motherfucker.
But so here's some context. Look, I was on Mecha Random's channel. I don't have a problem with everyone's favorite YouTube harpy. She's done some quite enjoyable videos, and she's done some stuff that I disagree with. But
Oh no, you disagree with an opinion. The fandom mass is gonna collapse.
but she came out with a video that I just had to highlight how ridiculous it was. And I had to bring up an article countering the points that she made within this video because, look, it's one thing for you not to like something. I completely understand that. And to bring up some facts about the thing you don't like and what, could potentially happen. But people are spinning this rumor that No Time to Die is not coming out, that it's been pushed back so much, and that they're going to release it like they did with Scooby-Doo and things like that. So first off, let me make a couple points. One, the straight-to-video releases are movies that the company does not think will make them any money. James Bond is up to its 25th movie, okay? There are a lot of James Bond fans. I am one of them. Do I exactly like this direction that they're going in? I'm a little nervous, yes. But does that mean that there are not people excited about this Bond? They have Rami Malek as the villain. I am highly curious because if you guys have watched Mr. Robot or Bohemian
Mr. Robot
Rhapsody,
himself, correct?
yep, he
Does
is.
that sound normal, Will? Let me know.
He is fucking fantastic. Okay, so here's my thing. They're talking about now that this movie is either being canceled or they're going to release it straight to video. And I'm going to tell you right now, this movie is not being canceled. They're not releasing it straight to VOD. And I'll tell you why. Because they are shooting all around the world. This movie is literally shot in like multiple locations in multiple countries. James Bond is iconic. They have poured millions of dollars into this movie. They're not going to fucking release it straight to VOD. I wouldn't have a problem. I'd be excited to have it right away, but that shit is not happening. Okay? It is coming out in the theaters. It is actually getting an earlier date, which is what my article is talking about. And, stating these things is just very foolish, okay? You could dislike something, whatever. But if you're going to state something, you need to, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but you need to have some kind of fact behind what you're saying. And the fact is, this movie is not going to be canceled, okay? No matter how you hashtag cancel No Time to Die or whatever other thing that's going on, this movie's not being canceled. It's going forward, okay? You got big stars in it. You've got shit already shot, and they're just putting finishing touches on scenes that they had to shut down. This movie was basically almost done and was about to be released. The stuff that they're shooting is certain stunts that they can do at the time and edits. The movie's basically done. They're not going to release James Bond on fucking video on demand. It ain't happening. That ain't a thing. If they didn't do it for Terminator Dark Fate, if they didn't scrap that, they damn sure ain't scrapping a James Bond movie. And Terminator Dark Fate should have been thrown in the fucking trash. So, and I mean, you had Arnold and Sarah Connor coming back, and that was a shit show. So if that shit show was allowed to lose millions, then James Bond most certainly is coming out. So I'm going to bring this article up here, and it is entitled, unfortunately, it comes from comicbook.com, but I sourced it from like a UK magazine and other stuff just to make sure. But it says, No Time to Die. Daniel Craig explains why he is fortunate to return to James Bond. While the blockbuster world has largely been shuffled around due to the COVID pandemic, there's still a slew of upcoming films that are expected to arrive sooner than later. One of the most highly anticipated entries on the list is definitely No Time to Die, 25th film in the James Bond franchise. The film is set to serve as a significant milestone for the franchise, as it will be Daniel Craig's final outing as the iconic character. Craig's departure from the role has been speculated quite a lot in the years prior, with the actor finally confirming that this would be his last hurrah. According to Craig, the decision to come back for one last film was a pretty unexpected upside. Being in Jamaica, so that's one of the locations they shot at.
Wait, what magazine is this in?
This is in comicbook.com, but there was also a UK magazine that quoted the same thing. Craig told Hey You Guys in a 2019 interview, which has just recently surfaced, I haven't been here for one, but also this is where James Bond author Ian Fleming wrote them, so they were created here. There's also been a connection, a whatever family connection. Somehow he's always ended up here for some reason or another. A lot of movies have been shot here. We are just incredibly fortunate to get the chance to be here, and we're getting it looked after so beautifully, Craig continued. The sunshine, there's beaches over here. I'm so happy. I just can't tell you. Craig has been candid about No Time to Die being his final outing as the character, but assured that he's definitely going out on a high note. That's it. That's it. It's over, Craig assured of his exit.
He made this movie while on cocaine? Nice.
But I, for one, am incredibly happy I got the chance to come back to do another one, because this movie, whatever people think of it, who knows what people will think of it. Everybody, including these people here, just put everything into it. And we did our best, and it feels like that. I know it sounds simplistic, but it's what we do. No Time to Die was initially expected to debut this past April before being significantly delayed due to COVID-19 pandemic. Recent reports have indicated the film could ultimately end up getting delayed again, potentially to 2021. No Time to Die will follow Bond as he has left active service and retired to Jamaica. His piece is short-lived with his old friend Felix from the CIA turns up asking for help, leading him into a trail of a new mysterious villain armed with dangerous new technology. The cast of No Time to Die includes Anna D. Armas, Lashana Lynch, Nomi Harrison, Lee Sudeikis, Ben Winshaw, Jeffrey Wright, Remy Malek, and Ralph Fiennes.
That was
So
pretty impressive, guy.
so yeah, they're over in Jamaica chilling during COVID. So yeah, this
Oh no,
movie
how terrible for them. I'm sure they have to pay for the hotel room too. Not.
but yeah, so these rumors that you hear and people coming on saying this movie's being canceled and stuff, they're chilling in Jamaica doing the final cuts. This movie ain't they paid for the cast to go to Jamaica. This movie's not getting canceled. They got to pay that bill back. This movie is being released in theaters, even if they have to push it to 2021. But from what I heard, it's going to be more of the late, like they're aiming for December. And from what I heard, they want to do a Christmas release date because if you think about it, Disney is not releasing any movies around Christmas, and there's not going to be a Star Wars movie. So this would be great, actually, to slot a blockbuster movie in that
When's
spot.
Black Widow supposed to come out now?
Uh, Black Widow is supposed to come out when they. It's one of the first movies that is supposed to be out when they lift this ban.
Supposed to
So
come out at like I thought it was either mid or late November.
yeah, around there. So I mean, you know, even if that's the case, if they released it in
No, you got
December,
like a month after that.
yeah, Black Widow would have made its money. It'll probably still hold like the number two position, but it's in an excellent position. If they do it December like they're planning or January, in that area, there's going to be no one to compete with this movie. So, and Disney's slate isn't until late 2021. So, this is the perfect time if there's such a worry about money because this is woke, and I'm doing air quotes, then if they slot it there, this movie's going to be virtually running with no. To say this movie is not going to make money, you have to be a fucking idiot. I'm sorry. One, you have a massive amount of James Bond fans. Two, it's a blockbuster movie. So I've seen people who aren't even James Bond fans watch the recent ones, right? So you have those people. And then, there's nothing else. We have no other slate.
Do
And
we
people want
have
to see
an
movies.
estimate of what the budget was for the movie? Because it's not like any of these movies that push the stuff back. Like they completely halted marketing. I haven't seen movie trailers on TV in the last 2 months at all.
Yeah, so I think right now I want to say it
Like I've
was in
seen
the
commercials for soap.
I want to say it was in the upper millions, 200. I don't want to quote anything directly, but
Okay,
I know
well,
that
they're
because they're
under
shooting
the
on location.
$300 million number, which
Yeah, it's
means they're
somewhere in between
smaller
there.
than a Star Wars movie. They're smaller than an Avengers level movie. They're smaller than a Justice League level movie. So if it makes $1 billion, they're going to make money. I mean, if you're going to spend 250, $275 million to make a movie, that's not going to a streaming service. That's not going direct to DVD. I don't care how long you got to push it back, just like you said. It's coming out in the theaters at some point.
And I want to address Will Gentry because bring up good points, and I want to put to rest one of them because I've heard this rumor. One, Will says it depends on the reviews and what the plot is, which is true, 100%. The other thing is, no, a black woman is not becoming the first 007. I forgot the article, but there was an article where they talked with the director, and the director said it's not happening. I don't know if it was because of the backlash or whatever, but the new James Bond, they've already started shopping for a new James Bond, and they've pitched out there Idris Elba, which I would fucking die if they announced. I'd be so happy. I don't even know what I'd do with myself. I'd get on immediately and be like, the greatest news ever broke. The man, fucking Black Superman, is becoming James Bond. This should be a national holiday. They should build a fucking statue. But no, I mean, if you've seen Idris Elba and Luther, like his British accent is amazing, and whatever. But anyway, yeah, I'm not gonna get into
Will
that.
Gentry's at his computer right now, obviously. He can give me the number. Tell me what is the biggest gross that any James Bond movie has ever made. Because I know it's one of the recent ones, but I don't know which one it is. And I want to say that it's somewhere in the $800 million range.
Yeah, around there. I want to say that was the one of the highest grossing, and the one that killed it was Skyfall, that got the Academy
Okay.
Awards. Adele won that year. That was probably the highest grossing Bond, I would say, if I had to pick one, because that was the
Right.
one that swept award
Like
season
James
too.
Bond, it doesn't need to make $1 billion to make money. Like Wonder
Yeah,
Woman didn't make $1 billion, it made money. Venom didn't make $1 billion, it made money. These are recent movies. Like if you
yeah, and
spend $250 on a movie and another 125 million, so we're talking about 350 million total. What do you got to make? You got to make like to do the easy math, 700 million, like easy, and then you would make tens of millions of dollars.
okay, so Timon Flip gave us some numbers. Thank you, and said Skyfall made 1.1 billion, but Spectre fell to 880 million. But here's the thing, Spectre was it was okay. It wasn't
Whoa, whoa,
particularly my
whoa, whoa. We're
favorite.
focusing on the wrong thing here. Will Gentry was wrong. And that's amazing. When does that ever happen?
Yeah, but
He's not usually wrong off the cuff on stuff like that. I mean, yeah, it was only by like $100 million, which, in a movie really isn't that much, but that's still a lot of money.
and
But
and I mean,
still,
but here's the thing: you're talking about two different beasts. Spectre, Christopher Waltz wasn't as strong of a villain as we all thought he was going to be. The story was a little bit wonky. He was good, but it was just missing something. Skyfall had everything fall in line. The buzz behind it was huge. That guy who played the villain was from No Country for Old Men. I forget his name, but he was fucking fantastic and epically creepy. And when people heard the buzz about this, and then you had the Adele song, and so you had the music community going, "Hey, what is this from?"
you're
And
talking about the bad guy from No Country for Old Men?
yeah, him. He
Okay.
played he played the bad guy in Skyfall, and he was fucking amazing. Like, the story for that movie was like, just everything in that movie came together great. The story was great. The Even Bond was more deep in that film. Like, everything, that was just one of those movies where everything fit together well, and the stars aligned. Whatever, you have that one movie in any long running series where you're like, this is the movie where I don't know what happened. It just all came together for this movie, right? But as a whole, the series is always in those
I don't
upper
I
millions.
don't know which person spelt his name wrong. Is it Javier Bardem or Bardem? I don't
I
know if
think it's
it's with
Bourdain.
an
I don't know. It's one of those fucking weird ones.
I don't
I
know.
can't ever say that.
Kermit spelt it with an N and Will spelt it with an M. So one of them has to be wrong.
Yeah, I don't know which end of
I don't
this.
necessarily care who was wrong about the first name because you would still pronounce it the same
The
way, I assume.
Javier,
I
yeah.
don't speak Italian.
But K Log said I'm not the spelling police. We got our culprit.
There's our
when
answer.
everyone when anyone jumps to the defense, you're like, oh, okay, I'm going with the second one. But no, I mean, at any rate, you know, even but Bond making a billion. Okay, let's be real. Let's just speak straight. I thought Casino Royale was great. The Daniel Craig movies in general, just taking out whatever you want to put for this next movie, they've been up and down and inconsistent. You
Yeah,
had
I've seen
Casino
that. That's what
Royale.
I said in the chat when Will gave the numbers. He said 594 million, 581 million, and then it jumped to 1.1 billion, and then it went back down a little bit to 880. That's a weird range.
Yeah, so you can't really in this instant, you can't really gauge it on the money and the draw of the crowd necessarily. It's going to be the story and the hype. A lot of people, and if you're in the Bond verse like I am, a lot of people who are James Bond fans are very excited about not only the 25th film, but, and I'm doing air quotes, Daniel Craig's last Bond, because he said this for like 3 years running. I think he said it after the first fucking movie. Oh, I'm done. Oh, no, I'm coming back. Oh, no, no, I'm done. This is it. No, no, I'm coming back. And then the Spectre, he's like, no, I'm really done. Fuck it. I'm done.
I
Fuck
mean,
James
it's
Bond.
almost like, I mean, I don't know what type of gold digger he is, but it's like he gets one of them dividends checked, and then he goes, it'd be really nice. Instead of only getting 4 dividend checks, 5 would be real nice.
Yeah, so I don't, we don't fucking know. We could see that Daniel Craig is in the 26th spot, so who knows? But no, I mean, right now he's got the money he made from Knives Out, which, whether you like or hate that movie, it did a ridiculous amount of money, and
This
there's a
black
sequel, and he's
motherfucker
getting.
is spying on us again. Like he was gone while we were talking about Patty Jenkins, but he's back now.
I know he would have got a kick out of that article.
That son of a bitch. What are you doing, man? Just eyeballing us? Working on a video?
Timon
I see
Flip
your
says.
eyeballs.
Timon Flip says at General Zod's Phantom Zone. Besides those two movies, no Bond movie ever made 600 million ever, even with inflation. So yeah, I mean, the fact that the Bond movies in this current age have made it into the upper millions, I mean, there's an audience for it. So this movie has an audience, and it has a following clearly. And Daniel Craig, one could argue, has a following for his Bond. And the people, and look, you have people who love that show, iRobot. I had a friend turn me on to that, and I was like, I heard about this show. I like Christian Slater. I didn't know much about Rami Malek, but then I saw Bohemian Rhapsody, and I said, who the fuck is this guy? So I went back through, and I was like, holy fuck, this dude can act. Like, he's a television actor. Like, his range is amazing. So when I heard and saw clips of him being a villain, I'm like, yeah, I buy it. I mean,
His
if you guys
range is
see,
amazing. What's he drive a Prius?
but I mean, if you've ever seen iRobot, he's an anti-hero in that. So him jumping to a villain for me is not that big of a stretch, because pretty much in iRobot, that's I mean, it
Well, it could
depends on
never
how
be
you
that
look
big of a stretch. He's short.
at. Yeah, I mean, you know, it'll be interesting. And from the clips I saw and how he was like doing his monologue, I was digging it. So, if for nothing else, I'm super excited about that casting. Now, what's her name? Lynch or whatever. I can't stand her. I think she's an overrated actress. Um, I can't believe after uh I don't know. Some of her stuff, she's all right. But I don't know. To me, that was a bad cast. But the rest of it seems solid. I like the story. I like the idea that he's retired in Jamaica, chilling, and that they call him back in. I think that is awesome. Just as long as they don't do that thing where, they're going to downplay him killing people. If I don't see him snapping necks and shooting people, that ain't James Bond. If I don't see one neck snap, I like, fuck this, because, he'd be fucking people up with that hand-to-hand moves. Like, he's done some of the most, and that's the thing that I've liked about this James Bond in particular, is more real-world fighting. Like, if you watch Casino Royale, he fucked those people up. Like, the first scene, he slams dude's face through a sink. Like, like, and he's just like, Daniel Craig does the cold calculating very well, where he's like, I see they gave you the license to kill, and he just like shoots him. Like, yeah, like Craig's got the cold calculated part down. Some people like his Bond, some don't, but I think there's certain strengths that he has. Like, I don't buy him as the suave ladies man. I mean, that's
Yeah, he's
virtually
no
gone.
Pierce Brosnan.
No, no. Like, I don't buy him jetting across the world, banging chicks named Pussy Galore. That ain't this Daniel Craig. I do buy him getting the women off the vulnerability, right? He's a weathered, beaten up kind of Bond. And, he got Eva Green. So, I mean, Eva Green's hot. So,
You say so. I never seen a single Daniel Craig Bond movie yet.
oh, man. Why wouldn't you like, dude? Casino Royale had the greatest torture scene ever. He took a
What do you
rope,
mean the
tied a
greatest
knot.
torture scene ever?
He took a
This
rope.
is coming. You're talking to a person that's watched all of the Saw movies multiple times because
Okay,
they're funny.
we're not talking about torture porn. I hate when people say that. This is not torture porn.
It is torture porn. That's what Saw is.
I don't even know. That's just a stupid fucking word to me. But anyways, um,
It's not a word, it's a phrase, unless, someone wants to say that it's a word because it's hyphenated. I don't know. They put hockey mom in the fucking dictionary, assholes. Like it's just two words. Fucking A.
but yeah, I mean, you know, uh, Sith Lord. I agree with Sith Lord's statement. Not bad, not great. They sit somewhere in between. I'd say probably Skyfall. I would put in great to like the level of where most of the James
None
Bond
of
films
them
will sit.
have Halle Berry.
Well, yeah, that's true. And that movie was
That's a huge
terrible.
selling point for me.
That movie was terrible when you think about the Pierce Brosnan runs. As far as the movies go, that was a
Let's not
terrible
focus on
movie.
all the bad points in that movie. Let's just
But
focus on her walking out of the water.
yeah, but Halle Berry walking out of the water, man, they still play that clip to this day. I
It's one
throw
of
in
the best gifs on Twitter. You search Halle Berry, that's right there at the top.
oh my god, like, oh, that was just like, man, that
Like
was just
that
that was just,
that scene in James Bond is the reason why I watch Swordfish 50 times.
oh
Think
man.
about it.
I know what you're talking about.
Anybody who's seen Swordfish gets it.
We have a super chat from Perp
A
that
super
says,
Chad? We got super bruh. Where?
nobody
Super
loves
chat. Nobody loves perp. Sad face. Wah. That's
And
bullshit, man.
Generation
Get your fucking ass in here.
and Generation Production says, "Hey, at General Zod's fandom zone, did did those posters turn up yet? No. You know what? None of my mail has been turning up, GP. So you're not the only one who I haven't received from. I got some new LeBrons, and yeah, a villain can't wear his new kicks while he's flying in the sky."
Whoa, 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 whoa. I gotta address the chat here. Will Gentry said, bigger super chat. Don't worry, perp. You're not alone. Nobody loves me either. Although I said earlier in the chat when Will said that he goes into a crowd of people and sneezes for fun, that I loved him because he's my kind of asshole.
Yeah, facts. Speaking of assholes, let's talk about the Xbox One X.
That should get perp in here. Talk about his trash Microsoft system.
No, I'm salty because they're releasing this one, and thank goodness, I was on the fence, but now I'm gonna be forced to buy this system because it's gonna be the only one. But they got their version of the Cyberpunk limited edition coming out, and I wish I can screen share, but this thing looks great. It looks
We
like
could
all
if
digital.
Justin was here, but he abandoned us because we're persona non grata, because we're evil.
So, Xbox One X Cyberpunk 2077 edition consoles stars in a photo shoot looking rough and ready. It looks rough. You know what they say about beauty? It is in the eye of the beholder. And depending on your eye, the Cyberpunk 2077 themed Xbox One X console looks either delightful or a tough and tumble weathered mess. There is probably not a whole lot of middle ground, but either way, you can form your own opinion by spying on a bunch of photos of the Xbox X Cyberpunk 2077 edition game console. These are challenging times we find ourselves in. And we had the situation been different, CD Projekt Red would have held a night City Wire event this week. However, the developer publisher decided to push it back until this month. In the meantime, pictures of the themed console that ties the developer and the upcoming highly anticipated, yes it is, Cyberpunk 2077 game have found their way onto the web. It looks a little bit like a used console, though not necessarily in a bad way. Again, it depends on perspective. But you can see in the close up above, there are some uh, intentionally chipped paint around the buttons and various edges. In case you've missed the hoopla up to this point about Cyberpunk 2077, in a first person role playing game by the same developer that made the Witcher series, it takes place in a dystopian night city called Night City with an open world design and a half a dozen regions. The console depicted is a part of a limited edition bundle with 1 terabyte of storage. It is not yet available for pre order, but some players have already gotten their mitts on one. It features glow in the dark lettering that says the no future text, laser edging, a LED front, custom panels, and a themed controller, which will be made available as a standalone purchase for people who already own the Xbox One X. Though the themed console has started to arrive, the game itself is set to release in a few months on September 17th, 2020. The game is available to pre order on the Xbox One, PlayStation 4, PC, and I don't know what that other thing is, Stadia or something like that. So yeah, this
Stadia?
yeah, Stadia. There we go.
You're welcome for me not reading the article, but knowing the words.
That's why you're here. You could translate a Kryptonian. So um
Fuck.
I am super excited about this. Luckily, this is not a Naughty Dog situation where this game is highly anticipated and not for the wrong reasons. But yeah, I don't give a fuck what comes out. You have Keanu Reeves. You already have won me over. I was always gonna fucking buy this game as soon as they showed him during that E3. I was like, oh, well, looks like I'm dropping like fucking $565, probably
What
more because I'm
the?
getting the.
Whoa. You're buying this Xbox?
Yep.
Do
Oh
you
yeah.
have an Xbox?
Well, the unicorn does, but I don't want that. I want the special edition Cyberpunk
No, I was
Xbox.
just asking if you have an Xbox for the purposes of reverse compatibility, like you're not starting from scratch per se.
No, I'm not starting from scratch, but I want this one because I just like the design and how they did it. And from what I've heard, I don't know, Perp would be the person, but
If
I
only
don't
we had
know.
an expert.
I don't know, but if PlayStation, and I haven't heard anything, if PlayStation and other consoles aren't releasing this limited edition type system, then I'm going to go with the system that is going to release an awesome looking console. And I definitely want to see, uh, this kind of this this look. I want to see what glows in the dark, the cool display, the weathered looking controller. Man, I'm in. I'm hyped for this.
Like, does it actually glow in the dark, or is it something that's going to be charged from the inside out? Because if it glows in the dark, like, that's something where if you have your lights off all day in your room, it's not going to glow in the dark because it won't have charged. Like if you got one of those glow in the dark ashtrays in your car, because they don't put ashtrays in cars anymore because smoking is bad. So you buy one of those, it's always bright because it has the sun on all day. Like when you have a cloudy day, those things aren't charged up at all, and then it gets night out, and then they got no glow to them. So if it's going to sit in your room all day and you got the lights off, what the hell's going to charge it? Or if you're sitting
Yeah,
in your room, or if you're sitting in your whatever room you got your TV in, and you only have the TV on, what the hell is going to charge it if that's what they're using? But if it's something where it's an internal component where they have like a little just LED behind it that like makes it glow when it's on, and that's what charges it, so that I don't know how long it would last, that type of shit. It wears out. Like if it lasts for 5 years, ha! An Xbox lasts for 5 years. That's pretty funny. But if it lasts for 5 years, I don't know if glow in the dark stuff is going to last for 5 years. You have anything
uh,
that glows in the dark that lasts for 5 years?
no, not that I'm aware of. But to your other snarky comment, I still have my original Xbox, jackass, and it
Okay.
still
The
works.
the original Xboxes, they actually made some of those to last. Since then, been nothing but problems.
Oh, the PlayStation has a shitty network. Let's be real. They probably had
I
that
mean, a
network's
shitty
been hacked
network for what?
so many times.
I've never had a problem with the PlayStation Network for anything that I've needed to do on it.
Yeah, you are aware that there was big scams and shit going on with that too, and
Oh,
that
you
credit
mean
card
how
numbers got siphoned.
every freaking company has it happen to them? Every single one. You think that the Xbox people are safe with their Microsoft and Google accounts? Like Google's not being hacked? You're funny, guy. You're funny. We're all
Hey, hey,
vulnerable. We're on the internet. We're all being hacked all the time. It's just a matter of
we're
whether or
probably
not you're
being
worth
hacked.
anything. Are we worth
Oh,
anything? We ain't worth shit.
you want to hear something hilarious? So when I put out the tweet, if you look to the people who retweeted, Xbox retweeted me. The Xbox X
Way to
series
go, Xbox.
retweeted me. So yeah, thank you. This is the second company to endorse me. It makes me think that companies are actually watching us because DC Universe followed me. I didn't tell you. So this is for everyone listening. I just found this out. Fucking DC Universe, it's the official one. It's got the blue check mark. DC Universe fucking follows me.
How many
Because I
people do
was
they? How many accounts do they follow total?
one 1,000 something something. Yeah, it was a
That's a
high number.
relatively exclusive club. That's less people than you follow, you maniac.
Okay, yeah, I know. So I was like, I was looking at, I was like, so I checked it out, and I was like, no, this isn't DC Universe. And sure enough, the first fucking promo was new episode of Harley Quinn show, and I go, holy fuck, this is DC Universe. So I was like, so I could message them, and I'm like, hey, if anyone from DC Universe staff wants to do an interview, I have a YouTube channel. Because they have the show called well, you see my DC Universe. They have like DC Talks, and they have like some people who like handle the internet stuff and shit. And I was like, hey, Zod endorses DC Universe every fucking day. uh, you know, what do you guys want to come on and talk about it? But yeah, it was hilarious. I couldn't believe that I actually all the times I talked about them. So yeah, DC Universe follow me, and now when I put the hashtag in, Xbox retweeted it out. So I was like, I might,
So,
you might see me with an Xbox in the background and DC logo on my channel.
well, Will said that we were both wrong and that it's Sega for the win. I didn't realize that we were comparing Sega consoles because I would be inclined to agree with him in that respect. The Sega Genesis is probably the best console ever. The only thing that it was missing was it was slightly lacking in its game pool. Like if you could put Mario on Sega, that it's done. It's over. Like nobody can compete with that. Nobody that there'd be no competitors. Sega'd have the market cornered. They'd be like, what is anything else besides a Sega? That's what home consoles would be called. They'd be called Segas if Mario was on Sega.
True, true. But yeah, I'm super excited about this. Perp just confirmed he looked at the model and did a little fire symbol. So yeah,
Aha.
I'm really excited about this. And GP, it is not DC Talk, the Christian band. I know who they are. They're not the ones that are following me, but that was a clever one. Um, but no, I thought this was good news. I'm glad we got a lot of different people and different systems going about this, but I'm gonna start winding things down. I'm about at the 3 hour mark. Those days of working at 4 are really catching up, man. But I was glad to be able to do a later late night talks, and we had a heavy topic in the beginning that needed a lot of discussion. So, you know, before we start to wind things down, thank you everybody. I'm really glad we had 10 to 11 people watching, so I appreciate all of you. I'm glad that you guys can hang out and the people still here. thank you so much. This has been a very engaging chat. We're gonna do another late night talks tomorrow at midnight. So you know, more fun to be
Maybe
had.
some of the other prophets will be inclined to join us this time or next time. Herp.
Yeah, maybe we'll get a dog with allergies and perp. Yeah, shout out to
Maybe an
Cybernetic Husky.
Australian. Don't know what he was doing. Sure, he was taking care of children.
Yeah, I can feel that. Actually, the younger dictator is sleeping, hopefully, or I'm gonna kill her. No, no, I love my kid. But yeah,
Figuratively speaking, of course. Of course.
yeah, because then they question you as a parent, and I'm like, hey, I'm a villain. I'm raising a future dictator. You don't do that with puppy dogs and hugs. Got to make them tough. But no, shout out to everyone, and we're gonna wrap things up. So before I do my gigantic plug, because guys, I got a lot of shit coming. I've actually got done with some videos. I just haven't had time to release them. So you'll see about 5 videos drop for no apparent reason. Mr. PB, tell them about your videos. Didn't you do one for Prophets of Geek Culture, or was that someone else? There's 4 of us, so I never tell who's
That
dropping
was
the
that
video.
was that was someone else. That was not me.
Oh, okay, that
No,
could have
the
been
next
Steve.
one that I'm doing for Prophets of Geek Culture is either going to be about Zack Snyder or about the PlayStation 3 price point. But both of those are going to be coming out soon. No, the last video I did was on my channel, and that was the review of episode 3 of Stargirl. And I don't know how, but I released mine like a day later, and like some of the typical tags that you would put on a video, like a season 1 episode 3 review, or like Stargirl season 1 episode 3 review, like one like that. I was like 4th or 5th in the search. I was like, okay, I can live with that. But I did have a relatively catchy thumbnail, so that's always good.
Awesome, awesome, and yeah, if you guys haven't checked out his reviews, check it out. We mirror the same opinion. This is actually good. The show is probably far too good for CW to be showing. Um, but yeah, it's a great
That's
show.
probably true.
I don't know about you, PB, but I am thoroughly enjoying him. I've actually gone back through and watched them again chronologically as they drop, so it's been
I
awesome.
mean, I try to go back and watch them again, but every time I ask the wife if she wants to rewatch it, she goes, "No, I don't want to watch that show, you fucking pedophile." I was like, "It's not my fault that she's hot. She's 20 in real life."
Yeah, but she does play a convincing 18.
Well, I mean, she's supposed to be younger than 18.
Oh, then I do kind of feel dirty. All right.
You ain't got to feel dirty about it, man. She's 20.
That's what I'm saying. The conflict is real. Um, so yeah, if you guys don't know, speaking of shows, I've been doing Penny Dreadful live reviews, and I've gotten really good responses on them. This last episode was amazing, and the next one is going to be even more amazing. I didn't realize, I thought it was 13 episodes. It's actually only 10, so we're just about done. We're on episode 7, and it's going to be called Maria and the Beast, and it should be great. I'm actually going to drop a reaction to the promotion because
Is Maria Marjorie Tyrell?
no, Maria
Well,
is the
fuck.
grand. No, Marjorie Tyrell is the villain, and Natalie
Oh,
Dormer does a great job. She
I'll
essentially
remember
plays
her name one of these days.
she plays 4 roles, and each of them have different accents, different mannerisms, and she does a tremendous job in this show. Like she goes from German and then speaks like in an English accent and then switches to like a Hispanic accent. And it's flawless. You can't tell. All of the characters are virtually different. So she's the staple on the show without a doubt. But uh, the guy who plays Tiega is knocking it out of the park. So They're strong acting. I can't wait. I'm gonna post my review. Being that I don't have to work early, I might do one that night because this is a pivotal episode. It's the seventh episode, and a lot of shit is supposed to happen just off of the trailer. So I may wind up actually doing a night review for it. So I'll let you guys know, and Sunday night I'll kind of decide then.
Are you reading the comments that this fucker's putting?
Yes.
God damn.
Well,
18 is still legal, you doofus.
well, it might be
And if
legal, but
she's 16, just say she's English. Good night, governor.
Jesus. Okay, we. Anyways, I also have a
She's
review
gonna
for the
turn
Prophet.
16 in this season at some point.
In this Prophets of Geek Culture, I have a review coming out for Harley
Ooh.
Quinn season 2, and I'm just gonna tell you guys right now, it it pulled an arrow. This season is actually better than the first season. And the first season was fucking amazing. This season is funnier than the first season. They take shots at everyone. The story is great. So I'll give you a review on that. This time I won't show clips because it got claimed last time. But yeah, this season is hilarious. The shit they do with Mr. Freeze is fucking hilarious. Yeah, it's been a wild season. The Dark Side was there, and a bunch of different other villains and heroes that you know. So I'll be doing a
Is this a
review on that.
separate timeline from every other show on DC Universe?
It's not a separate timeline, just a separate section of the world.
No, I need to know if it's a separate timeline or is it directly connected to Young Justice?
Oh no, it's its own thing. I believe it's a separate timeline, but they could be in the same timeline, just different Earths. Because Young
Okay.
Justice is a different section of the universe. But yeah, it would have to be because Lex Luthor, if I remember correctly, is in Young Justice at some point,
Yep.
and a few others. And he's also in Harley Quinn, but in a different capacity. So,
Okay.
but yeah, they even have Wonder
Nope, we
Woman
don't need
show up.
to get dragged down in the weeds. You answered my question.
But anyways, yeah, so we got that coming out, and I'm going to do a review. I just got my pre-order confirmed for the new Warriors comic, so I'm gonna be reviewing that right away. As soon as the issue comes, I will post it because I got the digital issue, and I didn't get claimed for those, so you'll see pictures of the great new Snowflake and Safe Space. I can't wait to review this thing. I've been so excited. I actually fucking paid money for this.
Jesus Christ.
Yep, I've got a subscription, so I'm going to be reviewing all the issues that come out. So yeah, only on the Profits of Geek Culture. So, anyways, thank you everybody. It's been a great night. I got to go to sleep and continue watching the rest of Krypton. So, as always, remember the rule here in the fandom zone. Kneel before General Zod.
Protest appropriately and don't be a fucking